Welcome to the Any Last Words pod. My name is Earl Lonnie Hooks. A very, very special thanks to everybody that will be joining us on SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify, as well as YouTube. The God in me honors the God in each and every one of you today. Today, this is another gift. This is another present. This is another surprise for me and for everyone that will be listening. I have here the mystical, the serendipitous, maybe, the enigmatic.
Yes,
that we will be getting into.
That's the word. Yeah.
The enigmatic. Erin DeRay, for anyone that would like to stalk her, ERIN space DURAY. Erin DeRay, friend from work. How are you? Hey, woo! Hello, Erin.
Great to be here.
What's going on? How are you feeling today?
Well, we had already touched on it a little bit, but I'm.
Oh yes, yes, we have.
I am great. Actually.
You're doing well.
Yeah, really good. Really
you're
good.
In a good space.
Yeah,
you spend time around really good people.
Physically. Yeah, but I surrounded myself with a lot of really good people yesterday. Went out and did some really fun things, making experiences.
Yes.
If you must know, like a little.
Oh, that's great.
If you
must know, if you're going to continue to twist my arm about it, sure, I'll tell you.
Tired for sure, but that's a constant state of being for me. But thankfully, I had a
lethargic.
No, I feel lethargic for me.
Tired of life and people?
No, never.
What do you?
Come on, how can you give me like that intro and then tired of people? Like,
well,
I certainly have.
I
social
said
battery.
Mystical.
Yeah.
I said enigmatic, which is another. By the way, actually, for the people, because some people might be like, "What the fuck are you talking about enigmatic, Earl? What does that mean?" Well, for the people that don't know,
let's tell them.
Enigmatic is resembling an enigma, perplexing, mysterious. Enigma, a puzzling or inexplicable occurrence or situation. A person of puzzling or contradictory character. Oh, have you not read that? Because you have, and I feel like you ought to. First of all right, let's do this.
Okay.
First, let's just set this scene by saying that I've been bringing people on here, and it's been super awesome to me because I wasn't in this open enough space to bring people on and want to have conversations with a bunch of people in my life, right? No matter how close they were to my inner circle or just how on the outskirts they were, I didn't really want people here aside from Keon.
Right.
You have that for mad episodes. Now I'm having people on, but what happens to be interesting, and I didn't necessarily do this completely on purpose, but the people I'm having conversations with, I am running into the realization that you're a work friend. Mm-hmm. That means a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
Through work. Yes.
But this is going to be, even though we've had some of our moments where we've been together and had some talks, which is why you're here now. Mm-hmm. This is going to be our most thorough conversation, the most sit down, present, face to face conversation that we've had.
Yeah, and I don't take that lightly. Like I was thinking the same thing too. Like we talk a lot about having these long form conversations, and because we know each other through work, we get these like brief glimpses into what could be the long form conversation, and then it's like, go get glasses, you know.
Yes.
And it's done.
Go get ketchup. Go get butter. Go get this.
And it's always like, let's talk about this in a little bit. Let's put a pin in this.
Right.
And then 9 times out of 10, like, it never gets picked up. So, yes.
Well, of course it couldn't. I told you about food and beverage industry to me and how I'm certain it's like this for a lot of other just fast-paced industries in fast-paced regions. Mm-hmm. Just the north of the United States versus the South and things like that. And just cities versus rural areas. People being on a different sort of tempo, a different BPM. Like, people are moving.
Literally.
And in the food and beverage industry, if you've ever been in any fucking food and beverage industry, you've ever been anywhere, in any restaurant of any kind, people are moving. People are moving and shaking. They're getting stuff done. Mm-hmm. So the whole point is it births, it encourages pithy, witty, quick information.
Yes.
That's the way you have conversation as servers, as whomever, chefs. You gotta keep moving. So it breeds a bit more of a superficiality to conversation. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we met. That's what we kind of do at work. And like you said, it gives you glimpses into the window of what could be.
Yeah, like a...
Right. Uh-huh. And so why are you here? Now you tell me, because you can't speak on why I brought you here, but you tell me why you're sitting in this seat.
So I'll start by saying thank you for having me.
De nada.
This is a really cool thing for me. I've never done anything like this, and it's actually something I've wanted to do for quite some time. So thank you for being the maiden voyage.
Ooh,
yes.
Why did you want to do this? This being just a recorded, cohesive, coherent, slightly structured but still loose conversation.
Yeah. Well, because I like the way that I interact with people.
Okay.
Does that
go for it.
I'm learning much more about myself the last couple of years. And to be able to sit down and say oh, I actually really like who I am.
Okay.
Does that, you know what I mean? Not to be
arrogant, egocentric.
Yeah. I realize I should probably have the words to say because there's only so much that's
no, it's fine because I'm reading everything that's happening, so I always have the words.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I see it too.
How does that make you feel? That I read everything in front of me?
Good, actually, because I do the exact same thing. And that's one of probably the main reason that I wanted to do this is we have these glimpses into these potential long-form conversations, but I know that you're approaching a lot of the conversations, the circumstances, the environments, not necessarily the exact same way that I do, but you are reading into things that most people wouldn't think to look at or read into.
Okay.
And for me, that's always been not an exhaustive process, but it definitely takes more energy to tune into those certain things. To
give a shit in life, period. It takes energy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you don't have anyone to just bounce those things off of, you just hold it. It's, there's a lot of things rattling around up in your brain. So to be able to sit down with someone and say these are the things that I've been remarking on, these are some of the connections I've been making lately.
Yeah.
That's really important to me because I first and foremost, in any relationship, platonic or romantic or whatever, if I can't sit down and have a conversation, I made a joke about it the other day, fuck small talk. Fuck small talk. I can't.
I know. I walked into you the other day. Yeah. It was hey, Aaron, and we gave each other a quick embrace, and it was awesome. It was cool. It felt great, as your energy always does, even when sometimes you got to act that way, and it's not really, you're really at your baseline chilling.
Yeah.
But you want to give people the guise of everything is fantastic all the time, and it's beaming, and it's vigorous, and all this sort of stuff. And I come out, and I give you a hug, and you're just hey, Earl, hey, fuck all the small talk. How's your heart? And I'm oh, okay.
Good, so let's get to it.
So whatever it was I was about to talk about, fuck that. Where's your heart at?
Respectfully, fuck that.
Respectfully, fuck that.
Yeah, because it's never that I don't want to hear it. It's never that I don't want to have the small talk.
Yeah?
I think
How does this make you feel right now? I'm holding a book called The Fine Art of Small Talk by a fine woman. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. By a woman named Deborah Fine. She's a fine woman named Deborah Fine. How to start conversation, keep it going, building networking skills, and leave a positive impression.
Because
go for it.
I get bored with small talk, not for the reasons that you might think.
Okay.
Not I don't really want to hear about the small things of the small talk.
Okay.
But I'm good at talking.
Okay.
Really,
yes.
is what it is.
Okay.
I'm good at engaging, I should say. And that's something that in recent months I've really honed in on. I've always been the charismatic person to be able to have the conversation, hold the conversation. But only recently I'm you know what? I would want to talk to me. I would want to talk to me.
Okay.
And part of that
I love this beaming confidence we're getting on the pod today. I would want to talk to me.
I would want to
Hey, all you listeners, y'all listening to me right now. Yeah. Come talk to me.
There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance, certainly. But the thing that changed my mind was if you walk into the room with the confidence of a mediocre white man, there is nothing you cannot do.
We're about to get some. Let me pour this back up. We're about to have some wild bars getting off today.
Yes.
If you walk into a room with the confidence of a you said a mediocre white man, there's nothing that you can't do.
Yes. I shit you not. I don't live my life.
Hold on, bro.
Let's process.
Oh, fuck.
Yes.
Off the rip. What are we, 10 minutes in? Okay. Go.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
I have, and we'll get into it because we discussed untethering. You know,
yes.
It's been a season of untethering. And some of that has been, thank you.
Well, for the people that don't know, let's give them an idea of what the untethering is. How this came to be. Like, what is untethering? What are you untethering? Why does it make you feel a certain way? So start with what is untethering. Because you and I have already spoken about this a little bit.
It's well, for me personally, it's not just the cutting of something. It's not the cutting of ties with a person or place or thing. It is a disconnect from a former version of me, really.
Okay.
I've been waking up increasingly more and more every day. Thank you. I've been waking up more and more every day, less connected to the person that I once was. And I realize that's very abstract, but like, for example, something happened the other day, and I literally had like a moment, like a lightning bolt moment, where I felt,
aha,
yes, like Bing. Like some part of me. This is what it was. Because we're speaking on confidence, and I've always been a very confident person.
Okay,
I've always had this. I was raised by my dad. A lot of like male influence energy in my life, and I think that helped. My dad, growing up, would always say...
But not just any male, because there are a lot of bitch-ass dudes out there, so we're not going to get that through the way, like, if any man raises you, you just going to get manly man, Bear Grylls type of vibes. Like, it's not that.
No.
But your father was a certain type of father.
Yes.
Military, correct?
No, actually.
No, not military. You guys just moved around just for the shit of it.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
That's a question I get a lot.
Okay.
But he, growing up, would always say, like, if you can handle me, you can handle anyone. And he was right.
That's the approach my older brother took, I think. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
How's that working for you?
Fantastic. Look at me. I don't give a shit.
You're great. Exactly.
But I don't think, again, everything, it's an amalgam, right? So a bit of what he did definitely works. I do believe, I'm a firm believer that there is a healthy type and amount of bullying that one should receive or can receive, is capable of receiving and not completely imploding. Structured bullying.
Yeah.
Right? Tapered bullying. Yes. There is that. And I think my brother gave that to me.
And I think my dad definitely did that too. A lot of shit that he would pull. Looking back, I realized, like, if I was a parent, like, I'd probably do the same thing. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, you gotta have, like, your shits and gigs. You gotta get a kick out of, like, being a parent, you know?
You're like the small little experiments and things you're gonna do with your kids without them knowing.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was him. So,
okay.
Because we're speaking on masculinity.
Yes.
Because masculine and feminine energy exists within everybody. And I'm very much like feminine. Like when I walk into a room, like I exude feminine energy. If I'm speaking for myself, femininity,
yes,
if you will. But then when you get into a conversation with me and you see how I actually move,
how you conduct yourself, get shit done,
it fares more on the side of masculine, because of my upbringing, because I was raised by my dad, who wasn't military, but in some ways militant, like just had certain things.
Yes.
And he, growing up, like, this is gonna sound, you're learning a lot about me today, but
1,000% most thorough conversation we'll ever have. Or I'm sorry,
ever?
I'm sorry.
And that's all, folks.
Most thorough conversation that we have had is what I meant to say.
Thus far, yes. So he, growing up, like, my parents were divorced when I was 5.
Mine too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure you can definitely relate then. So my dad wanted to have, like, a feminine figure in my life for me.
Yeah.
Because growing up, like, my dad was the one who was teaching me a little bit about makeup. And it wasn't, like, teaching, like, this is how you contour. Like, no, this was, Aaron, like, you have raccoon eyeliner. Like, let's fix that before you go to school. Like, that.
Oh, that's a real nigga. He's cool. Yeah. He's cool for that. Like, I enjoy it. What? Are you kidding me?
Well, we're getting to that.
Oh.
We're getting
So, sorry, Father.
I am so
She led with love. Now she's about to tear you down.
No, it's nothing but love.
Okay.
I lead this conversation and talking with you about my dad, or talking about my dad with anybody, like, with nothing but compassion and appreciation. But part of the recent untethering has been recognizing that certain shit just, like, can't fly anymore.
Yeah.
Not just because, like, I'm 25 now, I'm an adult, like, I want to do adult things. I'm always his daughter, but I'm no longer that person, or I no longer play that role where it's, like, necessarily appropriate for him to be imposing certain things on me, or
I definitely understand what you're saying. I think a lot of the times I've talked to Keon, my co-host, about how usually in life you get to know people, you get kind of stuck in a groove or a rut if it turns out to be a rut to you with certain people and the way that they perceive you. They've known a certain version of you for so long that that's who you are. It has now been crystallized in their mind, right? So how are they supposed to view you differently?
Yeah.
If there are not conversations and or actions that indicate that you are now a whole different being.
Yes.
And not only that, you also have to understand their level of acceptability. They're like, they may not be willing and ready to understand this new version of you, because
you
it's
have
much
to meet them where they are.
Yeah, it's much easier to just keep you in this box that I've had you in my whole life. Like, I don't want to do the whole, like, what do you mean I have to keep learning you? Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't feel like doing, I learned the first you. I'm done. I don't want to do it.
I raised you. I know everything about you.
Right, exactly. Like, so it's laziness because people don't want to talk about the forever evolving people that we are. So it's just easier to do that. So I understand why we get stuck in those crystallized versions of ourselves in people's minds and eyes, hearts, and souls.
Because of that, like, how can you pass advice on to someone when you don't even know, like, where they are in their life?
Listen, man, this is what
try your best.
I take a sip of this, listen. People don't really know shit. We're all just walking around trying to do our very best with what we have at the moment. And every time you read a good book, or you hear the next quote, or you have the next conversation, or you do the next drug, whatever happens that happens to expand your consciousness, you think for a second, oh, fuck, how was I living before this? How was I just operating without this piece of information, without this remnant of wisdom that came from whomever, like whatever the case is. So you're constantly feeling that way.
Yeah. So
you just know that to a certain degree, you don't really know everything that you think that you know, and that you just need to relax. And that's going to be that, whether it's relaxing upon yourself and how you feel with yourself and accepting yourself for who you are, and other people having whatever image of you that they're going to have. You also have to be okay with that, because you don't know what operating system that they're working off of. And that's
what
just,
version of you they're working off of.
Yeah, like that's just gonna be that. So it's okay.
So that's the thing though, is I'm now I've buried like an old version of myself.
Right.
And he is working under the assumption that I am still that person and will continue to be that person. And so it's hard to really, like, there was like one final moment that I didn't realize was the final moment at the time, but like now that there's been some time and space, like that was it. And you know, growing up, whenever we would have conversations, like I'm a very sensitive type. I have a thick skin, but I'm sensitive. I realize that's like a
no. I see what you're saying. You think that that's some sort of oxymoron, or that doesn't necessarily it doesn't jumbo shrimp? Ha! No, because shrimp are shrimp. People know what shrimp is. So if it's jumbo, you're giving me the largest type of shrimp.
Old news.
Go for it.
No, old news. It's new, but it's old. Old news. I can keep going.
Well, no, but these things to me make sense. It's news to someone.
I haven't seen it. It's
right,
new to me.
right. Like it's that's what I'm saying. Like it's new news to someone. It's old news depending upon who's telling it. Like whatever narrative they already have, whatever information they've already downloaded from whatever sources. Yeah, it's old news to them, but it's new news to someone else.
Yeah, it's the same but different. That's you heard me say that 10,000
yes,
times.
exactly.
My favorite thing.
So
ever.
to me, these world of oxymorons and things like that, like there's a space for that. That it means things to me. So. No, I don't think that that's crazy at all. I mean, and honestly, all of this came in some degree from Enigma. You being enigmatic and how that is contrasting characteristics. It's mysterious. I just read this to you now. You had clearly had an issue with the definition that I read because you're like, what? I don't think that that's me.
It was one word.
But you told me upon asking you, I think I said something like, what word describes you, or what couple of words describe you? You said enigmatic. Now, something that we've also spoken about already is that you see in me that I look at people, that I read the body language, the tone, the word usage, everything, the clothing. I'm reading it all. So I'm looking for things people aren't looking for. You also said to me one time when we were having one of our moments, that was one of the more thorough conversations we had, that I sound like, for some reason, I seem to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
I only ask the right questions or say the right things because I'm looking at the right things. I know what to look for in things. That's the only reason. So you could say the same words to me. You could say a sentence to me and say it to the next person. The next person is just going to take it at face value. I take it at that as far as and deeper as well. I'm looking at all different sorts of things. I'm reading between the lines. What did this word mean? Again, what does this conversation mean for the relationship? Did she use this in reference to something else? What does that reference mean? It's all sorts of stuff that go into these communicational things, which is why I brought up Deborah Fine's small talk. Because people get hung up on small talk being something that is cheap and fleeting. It's meaningless,
and it feels
these are wrong. These are wrongly diagnosed tropes that we work off of. These things are incorrect. And it only takes someone that's going to get into communicational type of books to understand that, because communications is not something we learn in school. Something I've been passionate about, something I've had a talent for, something I've gone out of my way to learn more about. But where do people learn communication? Where do you learn communication skills? You go through, you got your history, your math, your science, whatever the fuck, your English, and you're going, and English doesn't do that part of it for you. It does some
because
things.
It's more like the words themselves and not how it's the vehicle.
We ran into, that's what you studied.
Yeah. That
was composition, correct? Or creative writing. What is it?
English literature.
Literature.
And critique.
Critique theory. Okay, so you can get into that. You can, yes. Yeah. Okay, exactly.
Let's get it. If I may just toot my own horn here.
Step back, everybody.
I don't know if you know this.
Oh, shit. Something tells me I don't. Just the way that you even put that energy out there, I feel like I don't know.
The hands, too. Because someone had asked me the other day, like, what's your background? And the first thing I thought of was like, oh, like I've been in the service industry for like 10 years. Didn't even think to say like, oh, yeah, I graduated with honors from one of the top programs in my field. I'm a published author. I've been featured in Vice articles. I've sat on a panel talking to distinguished academics about my writing at 22 years old. So yeah, if we want to talk about it, let's talk about it.
What is your at? If the people need to at you, anyway, what is your? Just let me step away. Do a shameless plug real fast.
Okay, so.
And I know it's shameless too.
I don't have like a huge online presence. That's the thing.
So?
Because I'm working on big projects right now. And so I'm like taking a step back. I'm going to reconfigure like the actual presence online before I drop this project. So my main at is, if you want to find me on Instagram, it's at Aaron Deranged, Duranged, which I realize is not the correct spelling, but as you had enunciated before, Duray, so I'm just going with that. So
I understand.
That is my main handle. I have a Finsta, but that's for me. That's for me. That's probably
yo.
Well,
explain to me, as you've been explaining so many things to me, even off air with the ASMR and all this sort of stuff and the soap cutting. Explain to me what the drive to a Finsta is.
I want to show my ass a little bit and
I want to
not
show
have
my
family
ass
see it.
And not have people know it's me doing the things that I...
Well, no, people can
I want
know
to
it's
engage
me.
with the online... Oh, they can know it's you.
Well, that's the thing, is like the Finsta is made for like super close friends.
Okay.
For them to see like my... Like, people know my usual shenanigans. Like, my my main page is like family friends, people like loose acquaintances.
So you can get away with all the dirty, nasty shit that you want to get away.
Yeah,
okay.
like I post like videos of me smoking. Like, not everyone knows that I smoke. I think by this point,
okay, see, if I was living like a separate life, like a split screen life, this is what I would need. If I wasn't so open, like if my grandma didn't know that I tripped out on drugs, then this is what I would do.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
Exactly. So it's more for close friends to be like, hey, look at me.
Right.
That kind of thing. But I don't do it for likes. Like, sometimes you just feel on yourself and like, I want to post a little something, and like, I don't want to have my fucking cousin being like, why are you half naked on Instagram? It's like,
because
I want to, bitch.
What the fuck you mean?
What does it mean?
You just told me off air, and this put the battery in my back. I was just playing "Summertime" by Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. Summertime.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, clearly, spring started today.
Fall.
I'm so whoa. Fall started today.
I wish. I wouldn't go back and like redo anything from this year. But if it was spring, I feel like I'd be in a good place. Well, there's a thought experiment that like if you lived the rest of your life and on your deathbed, you had the opportunity to go back and do it all over again, but nothing changed. Like you couldn't, your memory was wiped and you started over and you just lived the exact same life.
Right.
Would you do it? And the answer should be yes. Like, you should at that point.
Whose answer should be yes? All the people that have had wildly blessed lives? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Some motherfuckers were born...
thought experiment.
Their mom had malaria. They starved for 3 years and then died. Nah, I don't want to do it again.
I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, there's some people, and it doesn't even have to be that extreme, but there are mad people who's just like, I'm good on a second life. No, I'm fine.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm fine. Y'all can have that.
Mm-hmm. But it's a privileged thought experiment for sure. But it's the idea that like you are supposed to be present in your everyday actions and goings on.
Why not?
There we go.
Yeah.
That you are fulfilled in those things to want to do it again.
That sounds beautiful.
It does.
That sounds
in theory
like a fantastic, mystical type of thing to say.
Thank you.
Fantastic. For everyone that doesn't think that there is a word for everything in this language, serotonal, or serotanal, pertaining to or occurring in late summer. Serotanal, occurring in late summer. Right? Word for everything. So what I'm saying is, I'm playing Summertime by Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince, which for y'all that don't know, that's wild if you don't know, is Will Smith back in the day. Late summer. Actually, not even summer anymore, but late summer, okay? I'm serotonally playing this song. Now, in honor, in homage of Summertime. You told me you didn't get to shake enough ass.
I did not.
During this summer. And so when your cousin is asking you why you're naked smoking weed, because I didn't get to shake enough ass. Exactly. That's what you tell them. Well, tell me about this phenomenon of shaking ass, how it makes you feel. Why didn't you get enough of it? I need to know, because it's never, for me, a prerequisite for a good summer has never been shaking my ass. So I need to gain some insight, and this is why I'm bringing people on. I want insight. You don't need to
shake ass to have a good summer.
Right.
But a good summer has a healthy dose of ass shaking.
Tell me about it.
So
how does shaking your ass make you feel? I think we should start there.
It's meditative, truly.
Honestly, tell me.
Because,
listen, I'm black. Look at me. I'm black. So I know that within the culture, shaking ass is a thing. It's been a thing.
Yes.
If you ever find videos of African women shaking ass, it be so seamless. It's so nonchalant. They'll have like a jug of water on their head with a fruit basket.
Jug of water.
Or baby. Jug of water.
Moving
they
like
double
water.
So they got a baby in one hand that they raising, a basket of fruit in the other, a jar of water on their head, and they're walking past like a little whatever's going on. Some people beating on drums and having a good time, and they just start shaking ass while they're doing all this. It's just something in the blood.
Yeah.
Right? So I am sensitive to this. I have these sort of sensibilities. I can understand that.
Right.
So I don't want you to think I'm judging at all. This is funny. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to poke fun at it. But that's just because there's humor in everything for me.
Yes.
Now tell me, honestly, okay, it's liberating. It's meditative to shake your ass.
It is because, everyone has a different version of meditation. But
yes.
Dancing, like true, like movements. You think about like witch circles. It's literally just a bunch of naked people dancing in a circle. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing.
Well, I think if it's a witch, if it's constituted as a witch circle, there's probably a bit more going on than just some ass shaking.
Certainly.
Yeah.
But movement in itself is a conduit for feminine energy. It really is. So
I didn't think you were going to attach the femininity onto there.
Yeah, 100%.
But okay.
But there's more to it, because it's people think that sexuality is mutually exclusive. Well, okay. People think that you can't be sexual or just kind of in your ass shaking mood.
Okay.
But also be able to sit down and have like an intellectual conversation and talk about critique theory.
Those
and small
people,
talk and
when you want to talk about not middle-aged, but just mediocre white dudes, that culture, whoever it is, that think group, that think tank you're talking about, every single one of them, their name is Tim or Bob, and they're 48 years old. Is your father's name Tim or Bob?
My dad's name is Tim. Literally felt the blood fall from my face.
And how would your father feel about this conversation of you shaking ass and how it makes you? Okay, see, I am locked in. We are here. I am podding. People know that I bring the shits to this pod.
Yeah, you're really good at reading.
Right? Okay. Tim and Bob's of age 47 and above, yes, they think that. We're in 2021. Different people are running stuff. I don't think it's always the right people running stuff, but they're different people. They're different ideas. People are getting more fluid and understanding of things. You are just naive, narrow-minded, closed off to the world in general. If you feel like someone can't shake their ass in minute 1 and then in minute 5 come back and drop gems on you.
Yeah, exactly.
That is just incorrect.
And that's been the thing that it doesn't stress me out, but we were speaking about like my circle getting a little bit smaller and smaller. It's because a lot of, not even like friends that I know of, but just like people that have been in my life surrounding me operate with that mentality that the minute you start shaking ass,
the people that you've been around think that?
Well, no longer. But like,
you got to get away from them.
No, I'm.
Oh, okay.
Gone,
they're okay. They're untethered.
Over. Yeah,
they're completely untethered. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's like it's definitely like an internalized thing. Like if you
want to shake your ass, man, you got to do that.
I am definitely that white bitch to be like, I just want to dance, but that's like I just want to fucking dance. I really do. Like I'm not trying to talk to anybody. I'm not trying to get anyone's numbers. Like I came here probably with my girls, and I'm just trying to throw some ass.
But
yeah,
I was about to say, hold on a second. We are going, because in case you didn't know, because you are a listener of this pod to some degree, you've listened to some.
Yeah.
That's wild too, because we haven't even really gotten into the fact that you listen to this, and I just have to walk around not knowing. But I've talked about this. I'm not going to keep doing it, listeners. That I know people listen. They're going to come on the podcast. I don't know them. They know me much more. I get that. Still just as interesting to me as it was on day one. It's still just a very interesting thing. Okay.
I don't.
No. Let's just for a quick second focus on this Enigma thing.
Yes.
Because I do want to get this over with for a second.
Yes.
Because we'll finish up with you shaking ass if you would like to continue shaking
ass. Well, the ass shaking is part of the Enigma.
It is because we're talking about the contrasting characteristics. But they're only contrasting if you think that they're contrasting. That's the thing. For you to think, because these are pre-existing paradigms that people are living inside of. Yes. So if you feel like someone cannot shake their ass and be intelligent, you are living in the medieval ages. You're just in a wild place. By the way, anything I've ever watched that was medieval, a lot of the times, a lot of the guys that were running to these wild horror houses, they really fucked with like one chick there. And they would go back and they would keep fucking some chick. Medieval age, I'm talking about when I'm watching like Game of Thrones or anything Game of Thrones-ish. I've always been into medieval times. I've always been into knights and dragons and kings, and I've always loved that type of stuff.
It's fantasy. Like
I love that stuff.
Yeah. Me too.
So those dudes really liked the chick, right? And it wasn't their main chick. It was some chick they went to the whorehouse to see.
No, it wasn't their wife.
But why was that? It was because maybe there was this whore that they liked. And I'm just using that word because that's what they called. That's what they were doing, right?
Yeah.
I don't mean that.
If you will. Right. If you want to get Shakespearean with it.
What is it?
Trollop.
Trollop.
Trollop. Trollop.
Trollop. Let's call them trollops because that sounds like a dollop of something nice.
Yeah.
Like a dollop of dandelions is what a trollop is.
A dollop of horror, if you...
Yeah, a dollop of... I'd love to have a dollop of horror. How much does that cost? So, just a dollop. I can't do too much now.
How much for the hour?
I can't do too much.
A dollop.
Right.
Just a dollop.
You got to know exactly how much of a dosage is right for you and things. That's what a part of growing up is. I was just like a dollop. You give me a ladle of ass. Woo! I'm going off the deep end. Like I'm falling off the wagon.
No way. They go to talk to these trollops.
They go to talk to these trollops because I think that these people are a little bit freer. They have been untethered from a lot of the things that other people, lay people, if you may want to call them that, have not delved into. A part of themselves they haven't been able to find or feel comfortable enough letting loose. and allowing the world to see and experience.
Yes.
That's what I think it is. So they were able to talk about, they were being real people.
Yes.
Talking about some real things. And they be intelligent. Because they're worldly. It's a different view of intelligence. Intelligence, manifests itself in so many different ways. So these trollops, they were worldly. They dealt with so many different types of people. They just had a different pulse on humanity.
Right.
They had their hand on the pulse of humanity. They understood people differently, which is what makes a good trollop.
Right.
Understanding the guest. Right, giving that great customer service. You can only give that great customer service if you understand people.
Customer service, yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah.
That's the oldest customer service in the book.
It's the oldest being a profession. Trollop. It's the oldest profession.
Fucking.
Just fucking.
Straight up.
Because it's purely carnal. It is purely primal. It's the 3 Fs. Fighting, food, fornicating. It's those are the 3 things
sure.
innate to humans. Like you need those 3 things. Procreation, but like
Enigma. It is a noun, a puzzling or inexplicable occurrence or situation. Here's a sentence for you. His disappearance is an enigma that has given rise to much speculation. Next, 2. A person of puzzling or contradictory character. Second sentence. To me, he has always been an enigma. 1 minute completely insensitive, the next moved to tears. Okay, now you've talked about being sensitive, but being hard, and a militant man raised you. Not a military man, a militant man has raised you, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Okay, a saying, question, picture, etc. containing a hidden meaning, riddle. Are you still fighting the definition of the word that I've bestowed upon you, which you first bestowed upon yourself when I asked you months ago what a word or various words would mean to describe you? And you said, I think I'm an enigma.
I think I'm an enigma. I think I was a little bit more confident when I said it.
I think I'm an enigma. You didn't say I'm a thing. You said, I'm an enigma, bitch. Don't nobody fucking know me.
Exactly.
I'm a mystery.
You'll never know me.
Riddles.
I'm onion. Layers.
So the thing is, which, by the way, you can get to know an onion if you peel back the layers. I just happen to be a person that peels back the layers.
Because you know how to peel an onion.
Right. Yeah. So, the point is, when you said that, I kind of laughed. In my heart, in my mind, I laughed. I don't think I laughed outward. I might have.
No, I don't think so. I think you gave me, you did this, like.
I gave you,
That's exactly what you did. Which told me everything I needed to know.
It was a meditative thought.
Yes.
Which is a meditation. But
I do realize, I realize how it might look, having ascribed that word to me. Like.
How do you think it looks?
Like I'm just not like other girls, because you'll never know me. I
just heard from someone, because I didn't really take this into too much consideration, that they feel as though enigma or enigmatic, mysterious, all the hard to read, that these are things that a lot of people deem themselves to be, because it seems cool to say that about yourself. And I didn't
say it for those reasons, and I'm sure you picked up on it, but I operate purely in like hyper irony.
Okay.
Very camp, if you will. So when I say things like, I'm not like other girls, like, that's the joke in itself.
Yes.
Just so we're, so they know. Yes. Exactly. But that's something that I feel. That's something I feel. I don't, it's not an arrogance thing. I would want to know me.
But you've had various moments. This is the reason why I bring this up, because you use that word. I don't use that word for myself. If people ever ask me, I think that it's an interesting thing to ask or to say about yourself. Not that, again, it's arrogant or egocentric or any of these types of things are overflown, but I do feel like it is an interesting thing to say about yourself. It interests me for various reasons. I'm trying to figure out exactly what you think. We talked about the word cool off air. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out exactly what you feel like constitutes as mysterious, as enigmatic. Why do you feel that? What situations or instances have you gone through that has reassured or reaffirmed that view of yourself? Now, you came to me a while ago and you told me about you and another listener of the podcast. Sorry, I just put that out there, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
Like, we talked about the nitty gritty.
You said that you and this other person hanging out one day, looking at each other, and for some odd reason, the conversation of Earl came up, and it was, yeah, I never really knew if Earl liked me or not.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if I don't know how he feels about me. I don't know how to how to get this guy. Like, yes. I don't quite get him. I don't know what his thing is. Like,
I'm literally crying
he's sort of he's sort of off. Like, he doesn't run up and try to be in your business and try to engage in conversation all the time. But if you ever want to have conversation, he's the most engaging person. Like,
he's down.
He's there. He's ready. So, like, how do you have this person at the same time? How do you have the person that sits in the very back of the classroom, but they have the energy of the person that ought to be sitting in the very front or the center of the class, right? Like, how is this the same person? And so you're finding someone that has what you might deem to be contradictory characteristics, which would make them, i.e., mysterious or enigmatic.
Yes.
So I've had plenty. It's not just you. I've had many people come to me and be like, yeah, it's really, really hard to know how to navigate space around you, Earl. Like, I don't quite know how you're feeling about stuff. And that's been a lot of people telling me this. Oh, I thought you were this type of person. Turns out you were that type of person. Oh, I thought that you were good looking. That comes with you being an arrogant fuckboy piece of shit. So then I never spoke to you. I just assumed that was your energy. Then I heard you talking to someone. You seem really nice. So then I opened up. There's a million different.
You can be both.
Wait. See? So we're getting further and further into this idea of stirring the pot of characteristics. I love
to do.
Seemingly contradictory or not. Stirring the pot of these things. Because that's if you could ask me one thing that I kind of want to do here on this planet, in this life.
Yes.
That would kind of be one of them, is just continue to fuck people's brains up. But just of natural occurrence, just of being innocent. Myself.
Yes.
Just being something that continues to have to recalibrate other people's ways of thinking about how they perceive people. Oh shit, you do this and this and this and you're this type of person, and how does it
compute for me? It's because you have yet to learn the equation, more or less. But that's what I mean. I actually just entirely lost my train of thought.
Okay.
It happens.
We'll find a new one.
It happens.
We'll find a new one. Don't you worry about it.
So that's what I mean necessarily. Like, when you're asking me, like, more or less, why would you choose to ascribe enigmatic to yourself? It's because I think you and I operate in similar ways, in that we're this, but we're also this.
Yes.
And we're also this.
Yes.
And also a little bit of this.
We're just very multifaceted human beings. And not to say that people in general are not. It's just there are certain people that are a lot more in tune with learning about those things themselves and exhibiting those things to the outside world.
Yes.
Where we just happen to be a bit more okay. There's levels to this. There's a scale.
Yeah.
And we're just a bit more okay with showing people how weird, how eclectic we are. Because there are mad people in the house acting a certain way, and they'll never go out in the world and act that way. Never in a million years.
No.
And then you come to the ALW pod and you listen to me, and you're like, oh, okay. You can do this. It is okay to embody all these different things. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
To be a mashup, to be a beautiful mosaic.
Yes. And you are a mosaic. Like, you are a mosaic.
Oh, thank you.
Not to, take away from your shine. Like, everyone is the mosaic. It's not one big moment in life that you're working towards. It's the summation of the small moments that make the mosaic.
If I can make a very holy sort of correlation right now, it would be like a stained glass window of a church of some kind.
Yeah.
And you have this mosaic. If you ever looked at a beautifully done stained glass window, and you have a sun shining, right? It's going to now illuminate this whole thing. And that's what I think people are, is the full stained glass window. But we are allowing only the sunlight to only hit but certain shards of that mosaic.
Yes.
So only certain parts are shining through that window. And then you find other people that allow the sun to hit more parts of that mosaic, which give you a better depiction of that entire stained glass window.
Exactly.
That is my holy scriptural sort of correlation.
Well, and I'm a very visual person. So that's what it feels like sometimes. Like, sometimes it does. Sometimes it does.
A basis.
It breaks my heart a little bit knowing that it's not like, oh, I have so much to give to the world. It's just like the people in your life that are supposed to know you as well as you would want them to know you.
Yes.
That they only see a part of the stained glass.
Yes.
Well, and interestingly enough,
that is
it's
something
fun that
you're going to have to get over. You're going to have to let it go. People are going to ascribe to you what they're going to ascribe to you. And they're going to subscribe to whatever subscriptions they're going to subscribe to in life in general.
Yeah.
That's just it. You can do the best you can as a communicator. The best you can. There have been times when I've come on this podcast and I've killed it. I'm talking about I laid down every idea or topic, piece of content that I've ever had with every precise word I could find in the person sitting across from me or someone that hears. Got no fucking idea what I'm talking about. No idea what I'm talking about. Or it just doesn't quite click. They're not at the space really to be able to absorb the information, whatever it is. But that's just kind of how it is. You just got to let that breathe.
Yeah.
You got to let that breathe.
I was talking about this actually with someone yesterday, literally about like giving the information. You know, I say it a lot because I think it's really like the best way to describe it. If language is the vehicle, like nothing in this world would exist without language. Truly, like if you cannot communicate an idea, the idea cannot become a physical form. It cannot be like created.
It cannot be materialized.
Exactly.
And
so you could be the best communicator in the world. You can have a better understanding and appreciation of how to say certain things to certain people. You can understand how it might be perceived because of how you read them. And you do all of this research, if you will, before you even come to them with the idea.
Yes.
But then once it kind of leaves your hand, it then goes to the...
It is out of your hand.
It is truly out of your hand. It's there's so many unknown variables going in. Like, I've made you this.
Yes.
In its perfect form. True, like to the best of my ability, this is it.
Yes.
So here you go.
Yes.
And then they can just...
It's whatever.
Fuck it all.
Yeah, for sure. And so that brings me to the second, because I haven't even been giving book recommendations the way that I usually do on here. That brings me to the second one that I have here. I just knew this would come in handy. It is called Reconcilable Differences. Connecting in a Disconnected World by a wonderful Donna Markova, PhD, and Angie MacArthur, who happen to be, I believe, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. Angie MacArthur, I believe, is the daughter-in-law. But either way, they talk about understanding, communication, learning, and trust, and how we all do these things differently. We all learn how to trust differently. We all learn how to learn differently, communicate differently, learn things differently. So when you're talking about the way that you're going to communicate something to someone, you have no idea how they receive information, what the process is like. If they need, like you said, you're a visual learner. If they need visuals in front of them, if they're an auditory learner and they just need to be hearing things and they need to work through them with words, if they need to write them down, jot notes down, go back to them. You have no idea about if they need to be up and moving and pacing back and forth. You're shaking ass. You have no idea what does it for certain people. So all you can do is what you can do.
Meet them where they are. Yeah.
That's it. So you just kind of got to get over that. Question, since you are so visual and you did literary in theory.
Yeah, literary critique.
Critique, right.
Yeah.
Boom. The Great Gatsby.
Okay. Okay.
You, Aaron DeRay, are at a Gatsby-like event. Beautiful. Fountains.
Lavish.
Diamonds shooting out the fountain. Right? Mm-hmm. People pulling up in Maybachs. Also Ferraris.
The Benzie.
You know, the new Teslas. They getting out top to bottom fly. Mm-hmm. Crazy good looking. People smelling good. Hair looking good.
Dream.
Smelling good is not overrated. It's underrated, by the way. Smelling 100%.
Good. One of my actual fears in life is not smelling good.
Is just smelling bad.
I'd like to layer my scent, so I wash my body with a certain kind of soap, and then I get out, put some lotion on, put perfume on over that, deodorant, and I've cultivated my scent. Okay, very, very over the years. Like I know exactly what works for me. I know the vibe.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with natural scents, people. There's nothing wrong with natural scents. Natural scents is kind of, it's kind of like I know what you smell like. I kind of like your smell. Yeah. And that's different than just being smelly and nasty. But someone's real smell, that's not, we're humans. We were kind of meant for that. Like, how do you smell?
And that's just more information.
Now.
Gatsby.
Well, I'm going to get into Gatsby for a second, but then you brought me on to something else for a quick second. Second being.
Sidebar.
For all of you people that are going into the bathroom, washing your face and leaving the bathroom with zero moisturizer on your face.
Don't even get me started. It floors me.
I don't know. I don't even. It's amazing to me the things that human beings can become accustomed to.
Yes. Do you think people in medieval times were worried about moisturizing their face?
But that's the thing. So then you get on to a point where moisturizing is something that is quite regular, okay, this day and age. But you still have people walking around like medieval people and not putting moisturizer.
Using 3-in-1 for their whole face and body.
Bruh.
I dated those people.
See, and you have a problem.
I do.
You can't date someone that just walks out of the bathroom after washing their face and not putting moisturizer on. Because the way that your face feels, it begs the question, exactly, who raised you? Because as a black child growing up, you had someone's grandma or your mom or somebody just wildly putting Vaseline on your face, just cocoa butter or Vaseline.
Yes.
And you're like, no, mom, stop. Like, get off of me.
It's sticky.
Trying to get away, but they're putting on matte because you're not walking out the house just looking ashy and all that. So I understand that this has been a little bit more of a white people thing than it is a black person just walking out with no moisturizer.
White people smelling like pennies when it rains. It's
yo,
I can say that because I smell good.
White people smell like pennies when it rains. Why do they smell like copper? Like easily and frequently transferred copper?
Because they're using
like copper that came out
3-in-1.
3-in-1
to wash
Head and Shoulders
bodies.
For the whole thing.
Well, I mean,
top to bottom. It's Head and Shoulders. They told
Head and
you.
Shoulders. Oh, this is it. This is the cutoff. The soap stops working after the shoulder.
Well, that was just a catchy name. What they meant to say head and body. They meant to they just meant to say all.
Put that on a bottle.
Yeah.
Here's your
head in the rest.
Soap.
Head in the rest.
Head in the rest.
Head in the rest.
Head in the rest.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Well, it started as a joke because I'm very interested in pop culture because I don't think a lot of people give it the credit that it deserves. Like pop culture? Yeah.
People don't give pop culture the credit it deserves?
Yeah, because I was talking about this with someone yesterday again, actually.
Who? Because that's what's funny is who doesn't give it that credit? Because it being pop culture is the credit in and of itself.
Yes, exactly. But they think that being interested in pop culture or like recognizing how that affects things that it should not affect.
Oh, no. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's what I mean. So like I was speaking.
Those are still narrow people. Even if those people you're thinking of
are
think
the
majority.
though, unfortunately.
Yes! Wait, hold on a second. Yes! For you guys listening listen, I've been on this podcast doing this recording for too long. Yes! That is the majority. The majority of people are the sheep. It wouldn't, you don't just go to a pasture and there are 20 shepherds and 2 sheep. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make, that's just not the case. Like there's never going to be more
sheep. They need the
that's what it is.
Yes,
they need. There's
all
never going to be more sheep or more shepherds than sheep. They're going to be more followers than leaders. That's just the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's the circumstance that we were discussing. Not we, but the person that I was discussing this with.
Yes.
There was this album released by an artist that, objectively speaking, was very good, very experimental. I really enjoyed it. This artist, problematic for sure.
Okay.
But she had released something that was very new for her, and it went very well, I feel.
Yes.
Unfortunately, what had happened was the album itself got overshadowed by there was some beef between her and another artist, and so like.
Oh, it was overshadowed by the beef.
Exactly.
Yes.
So like something happened, like an altercation happened the night that the album dropped.
Oh, well, yeah, you can't do that.
Exactly. And so the album did not do well. But it's unfortunate because it's some of her best work. So like people tune in more to the overt things. Mm-hmm.
Dateline, Hollywood, TMZ, headlines.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
For sure.
And I forget where I was going with
people
this.
don't know what to look for. People don't know, like what to delve into and where the gems are in things. Yeah. Which is why people think that you're as enigmatic as you say that you believe to be.
Yes, because we were speaking on pop culture, and it's like I used to feel bad about knowing little tidbits of trivia. Like, here's the thing: catch me at any Jeopardy night, trivia night. You want me on your team.
Okay.
You want me on your team. There has never been a Jeopardy game that I didn't win. Any trivia night that I'm on the team, we're winning. But I used to feel a lot of...
What is the study of the Earth's surface?
The surface?
Yes.
Is that not geography? I was an English major.
Look at you! I'm just giving you. I just remembered one that a question from a trivia night I went out to.
Topography.
Ah!
That's what's up.
Good job.
There we go.
Topography.
There we go. You said
there
surface,
you go.
and I was like,
top. Topography.
Yes.
Good job. Okay. See, maybe
English
I do what you. Maybe I do what you.
Prefixes, suffixes.
It matter.
I got it.
Okay, we're back.
Here we go.
Great Gatsby. You're at the party. Fountains popping out. People smell good. They look good. It's amazing. Flowers everywhere. You get inside. You're in the foyer.
Oh. Yeah.
Underneath you, there are fish swimming around in the floor. Oh, you know you've made it. Oh, this is where I need to be. I'm Aaron DeRay.
This is doing something.
Right? I know it is. You get there. You actually know the person. You know the host and or hostess of the party.
Right.
They're walking over to you in all their glitz and glamour. They're about to say words to you. Because they're a classy person. That's what you do. They come over. Yeah. They're a good host. They come over. They at least give you your first 5, just a minute to talk to you, see where you're at. Because they got to go on. They got to talk to other people.
Of course.
They're approaching you. You see them approaching you. You're excited about them approaching you. Because, oh, fuck, why would I not be excited that Gatsby is approaching me?
Come talk to me, Gatsby.
As soon as they come over, they're about to tap you on the shoulder and say something, the door flies open. Whoosh! Who is at the door? I'll tell you who's at the door.
Okay.
Who is at the door, or what you could say is at the door, is your favorite color in silhouette form.
Ooh.
Your favorite color. Don't say what it is.
Okay.
Don't tell the people. Don't you tell me. You walk through the door. Your favorite favorite color walks through the door. Ba, 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 ba. That's your
exactly
favorite.
what he sounds like.
That's what your favorite color does when they walk in the door. Ba, 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 ba. Like they don't even know what's going on. Oh, hey guys, this is really cool. What's going on here? They walk in. Wow, who owns this? This is really.
This shit is fancy.
Yeah, I was just walking around the neighborhood. Blah, 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 blah. They walk in. The host that was about to say something to you, now they switch gears. They have something else to say to you now. They say, hey, I heard that you know this person really, really well. Mm-hmm. Like you're acquainted with this person. Like this is your friend. You're like, yeah, I know him. This is my favorite guy. Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, before I let him in, I just don't know this person. Most of the people here I know, or they know someone that I know, which usually means that they're good vibes. I trust the people that I invited to bring great plus ones. This person wasn't necessarily a plus one. They plus one themselves. They showed up. But
sounds like a lot of my ex-boyfriends. But we'll get into that.
Holy fuck. We'll get into that.
So favorite color. Burst through the door.
They say, just give me a few words. I got 30 seconds to a minute. Just give me what you can about them. Like what am I to expect at this party? Not really a big deal, but just tell me about them. Real quick.
About my favorite color?
Yeah, like what are they like? What are they going to bring to the party? Are they going to be a fucking asshole? Are they going to get drunk and start spilling stuff over people? They're going to start yelling at people? Tell me about this person.
This person.
That is walked into my mansion because I'm Gatsby. Uh-huh. Please.
Okay. Well, I would assume because it's a typical Gatsby party, this is like hundreds of people here. This
this is popping.
This color.
This is an event you've never been to before.
Yes.
Unprecedented.
For me.
Yes. And for most people.
Yes. I already know what I'm
This wearing. Is the events of all events. Ooh. The gala just took place, right? I don't really be knowing about stuff, but I think I heard of people, there was a Met Gala that took place recently in the world, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Fuck that. I'm talking about 20 times that.
Here's Met Gala. Here's Gatsby.
Yeah, shitting on the head of the Met Gala.
This
Would
color.
You want to pass me your glass?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. The first thing that comes to mind, this person reserved at first, certainly, which is ironic considering the way they burst through the door. Hey! I'm just gonna go hide over here.
Hey, Gatsby.
An expert in mingling, certainly. I think eventually this color finds themselves amongst a group of distinguished people. Well, I see them in the lounge smoking cigars with a Mod Podge of interesting characters.
Okay.
I think this person is the bringer together.
The bringer togetherer. Yes. Please continue. Don't fix any of that.
Okay.
Bringer togetherer.
We can edit that in post.
I want that. No, we're not editing anything in post. Okay, they are the bringer togetherer.
Yes, because not because their aura or personality suggests that they are permeable.
Okay.
But this is the person that is the conduit for a lot of really for interesting people who wouldn't have previously associated with one another to be, you know what I mean?
You are the adhesive.
Yes.
Yes, amongst
I see them in a library.
Yes.
With many leather-bound books, smells of rich mahogany, sitting in these leather armchairs. Shout out. Where would we be without him? Thank you.
I got you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're smoking cigars in the great room. And they carry themselves.
The great room. You know about the great room.
I have a great room.
Oh, you have a great room. It's okay. You don't have to whisper that. You have a great room. You live a bit more fortunate life than a lot of other people.
I do.
You have a great room. Most people have a living room and maybe a family room. You have a great room, meaning you have a certain square footage.
Which I hate. I really
Why?
do.
You don't have. It's okay to be. You were born.
It's not like a white guilt thing. It's more or less like it's not mine to claim because I am living peripherally through other people to be able to experience. So I'm experiencing nonetheless.
That is people's lives.
Yeah.
People are reaping the benefits of other people's hard work.
Yeah.
That is life. Legit, honestly.
So I'm in it.
Yeah.
So I'm
it's
living
okay.
it.
You got a great room.
Just
so you've been to this Gatsby thing. So this is easy for you. Go ahead. Continue. You threw this Gatsby party. You were the hostess.
I'm Gatsby.
Yes.
Very
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I see this color as being this person.
Okay, the bringer together, they are the adhesive between all these different types of people.
Yeah.
They bring.
Does that make sense?
Yes, they bring people together. There is something clearly that is transcendental amongst human beings that connects us all.
Lively this without being over the top.
Yes.
Like certainly has a what's the word? There's a
spunk.
A spunk, a charisma, if you will.
Okay.
Because you have to.
Spark.
If you are
a zeal.
Yeah, if you're the middleman for these two polar opposite
or maybe
people,
not even two, maybe 8 people. Who knows how many people?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You have to be able to.
This is what Kanye West did, by the way, in hip hop. He brought a lot of people that were not usually on songs together.
Yeah.
He brought a lot of backpack people together with a lot of the huge stars. That's what he did.
And it feels like it too in his music. I'm actually a big Kanye fan. I haven't done Donda justice.
That's okay.
I haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am a fan of him and I like him.
So that is the person that you see. They're the bringer of togetherness. They are the adhesive, the glue, the sticky tape, the double-sided tape.
Yes.
They bring it all. They bring it all together.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. No,
they just kind of fuck with everybody.
Okay, no. I mean, clearly I ask questions like that because communication 101, usually people that associate all these types of personification, I should say, along with inanimate objects such as just a color, especially their favorite color or favorite thing, favorite animal, whatever. It is a projection of yourself. So all I did was just ask you, Aaron, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm glad that you asked the way that you did. The hardest question to answer. Tell me about yourself.
I know, and that's why I do it. Now, I've done this one time, and the chick was like, why the fuck did you do that? That's so intrusive. Like, why can't you just get to know me like a normal person? They were clearly very guarded. Yeah. And they thought that what I did was manipulative and that I shouldn't have done it. And I'm okay with that
still hang
idea.
Out with this person?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, like...
No, they weren't going to be the type of person that was going to be able to flourish around me in the way that I am. So, yeah.
Or you, them, either. You know?
Yeah. So, no, they're not around too much anymore. Beautiful person. I hope the best for them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was just talking to someone the other day about this person. This person that I asked that same question to and told me I was being an asshole for asking that question, they dealt with some wild seasonal depression. And we were leaving this summer. This was what was the word? Serotinal sort of relationship that me and this person had. And so we were going into fall, and then they were like, I just want to let you know, it was like a Jekyll and Hyde type of thing. They were like, I'm different. Like, I get different.
I'm not like other girls.
In the fall. Yeah. I'm not like, or maybe I am actually in this account.
I'm textbook. It's scary.
Exactly. Like, I will flip on you and become a whole different person in a moment. And the colder it gets, the more we get into this fall, winter season, you're going to see me turn into a gremlin-like version of myself. And so I was like, okay, well, cool. Let's meet up next spring. And
let's put something on the calendar.
And I think they were kind of with that because the way that they were telling me, it seemed like they were admonishing me. Like they were definitely cautioning me about this other version of themselves. So I was like, okay, well, you go ahead and you enjoy that. And we'll talk later. Yeah. And we never talked later. And that was that. And then I saw them at my high school reunion. And they seemed like they, had some friends there. So
okay.
It was
good for them.
It was all good. But anyway, I'm glad that you answered the question the way that you did. It is a very difficult question for people to ask. It's the worst question. People hate that question. Tell me about, you don't know what to say about yourself. Fuck the small talk. But in this way, you were able to pin off all these great characteristics on someone, quote unquote, else. And you didn't have to seem so arrogant at answering this question about yourself. And it's much easier.
Yes. And it's actually hilarious because that is exactly who I am at any party, gathering. I made a joke. I make the joke, really. Like, not that I, like, think about high school me, but like when you think about yourself in social settings, like you think about who you were in high school. Like, were you popular? Were you not? Were you a band geek or whatever? And I just like, I kind of fucked with everybody. You know, like I was friends with popular people, but like I wasn't friends. Like I was getting invited to the parties. I never went. I was friends with the band people, the theater kids, because I'm a very theatric person anyway.
Yeah.
Really, like
you were light years ahead of me in that realm. Because it took me a long time to just not be an asshole and embrace everybody.
I remember you mentioning this a couple weeks ago. Like, I asked you like who you once were or something like that. Yeah, and you're like, I was an asshole. I think that's how you said it too. Like I just used to be a fuck boy or something.
Yeah. I think I said a mixture of these things. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm of course paraphrasing because
it's an accurate paraphrasing.
Goldfish.
Accurate. Very accurate. You came here on this podcast and, you know, I brought you on for various reasons. Again, you're enigmatic, energetic, soft-spoken, well-spoken. Look what I did there.
Thank you.
I'm the man.
Thank you.
I have to ask. I've asked you this before, maybe kind of forgot, but probably have a decent understanding. But I think it'd be better if we did it on air. Aaron DeRay, what is on the forefront of your mind these days?
Ooh.
It may have changed. It may have nuanced a bit. I think there may be some intricacies that we maybe not have gotten into when I first asked you this at work or whatever. Again, at work. Pithy, witty, quick, infrequent, superficial sort of conversation.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring you to a different depth that doesn't cultivate.
Yeah. So
now I'm here again. What has been at the forefront of Aaron DeRay's mind? You get up in the morning. What is there? What am I doing this for? Why am I continuing to wake up and go through life? It can be for whatever.
Well,
you let me know.
I feel like
I'm just here for insight.
So, superficially, there is one person actually that kind of comes to the forefront just as of late, and that's, we can get into that a little bit later. But really, when you ask me like, what do I wake up for? What am I doing?
This is the worst spot to do this in. What you're looking for, what it is you're looking into. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
Okay. Do I keep talking?
I mean, if you want to talk to just the people, if you just want to get some stuff off to the people, I'm going to ask you.
I think maybe I'll do a couple bars. So it's actually so funny that he's going to the bathroom right now because I have to pee like a racehorse. It's weird having the floor currently. Being the theatric person that I am, I would actually revel in this sort of thing, but I'm not currently. So if you haven't listened to Tinashe's new album, like forget about Kanye, forget about Certified Lover Boy, like really underrated, really well produced album. Tinashe's latest album, fantastic. That's the forefront of my mind, is always music. And now that he's back,
oh shit, you're doing a whole spoken word.
I also have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, now you gotta go to the bathroom. That's okay. Give me something I can go off of. What was happening?
I was just telling the listeners about some really great music that's kind of come out.
Oh, you're just going off about music and just random shit.
Well, because we were talking about like what's the forefront of your brain currently. It's always music. A lot of really fantastic things have been put out lately. Like forget about Donda, forget about Certified Lover Boy. But
yeah, the whole world doesn't revolve around Drake and Kanye.
Exactly. Yes. Are you a fan of Tinashe? Do you listen to Tinashe? Do you dabble in Tinashe?
I've definitely listened to some songs with that name attached to it.
Okay.
Sometimes you be knowing names but don't really know it. Like, I don't got a face to go with it.
I love to get you on. That song.
I love to get you on.
Love to get two on.
Oh, I love to get two on?
Cross.
Two as in
like drinking and smoking.
Oh, I love to get two on. But I feel like that goes further than that.
Have you ever been to Paris?
Oh, okay. Listen,
I don't know that.
Yo, go to the bathroom. Listen to the way that you're talking to me. Have you ever been to Paris? It's the only way. No, I'm going to just make fun of you while you're going. No, just leave. Have you ever gone to Paris? That's the only way that you're ever going to be able to understand my very refined jokes and references. I know that you can still hear me in there. Jesus Louise. Have you ever been to Paris? All right, let's see. What do I have? What do I have for the people? No, I don't. I'm not listening to. I don't know what she's talking about. She sends some songs every now and again to the text message thread. I've never heard them. They seem to be very indie sort of things, and I don't ever know about them. But one of the questions that I have asked her is, where do you ingest music? Where are you when you're listening to the music, and how much of that do you feel like has an effect on you receiving the music in the best light or the maximum way that you as an individual do receive music? This day and age, as I've talked to Keon about, whether it's Donda, Certified Lover Boy, or whatever, I'm not listening to music as much as I used to in the past with the emergence of podcasts and me liking to read books and do other things. Listening to music has definitely been on the back burner. I've put it in the back. And so I rarely get stuff, but I'm always willing to hear. If anyone wants to send me any music of any kind, any artist, any genre, from any period, from any time period, I will listen to it. I will give it a shot. I don't care. I'm into it all. I take things as they come. So I will have no preconceived notion of what it is I'm supposed to be liking, or how it is I'm supposed to take the information or the sounds coming in, or the lyrics, or the album art, the cover, the way that the person looks, the person's name. None of these things deter me from listening to music. So if you would like me to listen to some music, and I might even come back on here and talk about it, send it on through at ALW Pod on Instagram. Please, if you listen to this, follow us on Instagram. I know that there are mad at y'all that do not listen or follow us on Instagram. Follow at ALW Pod. Hey, Aaron, you're back.
What's up?
What's going on?
Oh, nothing much.
All right, where are we at?
Paris? No, we were.
Tell me why being on two of them is a Paris thing. Tell me how you made that correlation. What's going on? Because you are well traveled. You are more
Français,
cultured.
c'est mon langue deuxième aussi. Get that on tape. I'm having so much fun.
That was more shameless than the shameless plug earlier.
Yeah,
for sure. That's your real shameless plug.
That's me, like, not.
Yeah, no, it's okay. No, I totally got it. I got it.
Well, I'm afraid to tell you, actually.
Don't be. This is the whole point, okay? You didn't want to bring your bag of specialties when you came here, and we're not going to talk about that. But
we can talk about that.
But this was the whole point: is you came here, and anyone that knows me, again, just hey guys. Anyone, you see the care that I'm just the fact that I put my hands here, the care that I'm taking of this microphone right now, guys. Everyone that's listening, understand you are listening to various conversations that I'm having with people for the first time of this magnitude. Mm-hmm. But feel the energy. You're in my home.
I know, and
you feel
an
me?
honor.
Like, you're in my home right now.
Really, 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 really.
For you, for me, it means something to bring someone in your home. It means for someone to bring you into their home. All this sort of stuff. And then again, the fact that this is the first of this magnitude, this conversation of this magnitude. But yet, feel the energy. Okay, it's good energy.
Fantastic, I might argue.
So I'd love for you to argue that. I want people to always feel comfortable unless I feel that they're too comfortable. There is a moment where every now and again, no, I wouldn't tell you. I would do something that would shake you. I would do something that would put you off keel. Just to keep things shaking. I just told you that just my being on this planet, the way I like to be, I want to keep people interested. I like to stir the pot. Okay, so that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I just like to stir the pot. Tell me about Paris.
So, have you heard?
Never been to Paris. Never heard nothing about it. Only thing I know about Paris is did when you asked me about dogs and cats, if I'm a dog or a cat person.
Yes.
At some point in time,
the genesis I talked to you of the relationship. I might add. And I knew we were going to talk about this too.
One of the first things you asked me, Earl, are you a dog or a cat person? Right? You tried to keep it light. You tried to do the small talk. That was your small talk. You like dogs or cats, Earl?
Yes.
And if anyone's listening, I forgot what episode it was. I went into dogs and cats, how I feel about them, and how I brought them into men and women having game, spitting game at people, trying to proposition whomever they're attracted to.
Yes.
And how good or bad they are at it in a general sense. And then clearly you have the people that are the outliers, right? You have the exception, you have the rule. There are exceptions for men and women and how good they are when it comes to trying to lasso someone. Okay? And then you have the rule, which is the rule is that guys have to do it more often.
Yes.
Women in general just have to give the social subtle cues that I can come and bag you.
Yeah.
Right? And then I come and do the bagging.
Yes.
And then from that conversation, kind of the wheels got turning and shit spurred out. It was Iceberg Slim in Chicago, I believe, which is one like the biggest pimp in like America. Then you had Miss Claude. What the fuck was her name? But she gave Madame Claude, who gave rise to the Claudettes, which were just like the top notch trollops of the galaxy.
There you go.
Of the galaxy. So that's how that conversation went. That is where
I learned that day.
When you talk to me about Paris, I'm thinking of the Claudettes and how great they are. Outside of that, no.
You're within the same realm. You've of course heard of the Eiffel Tower.
2 of them.
And that's our show, folks.
So we're at this part in the podcast.
Is this where you tell me I'm getting too comfortable?
No.
Okay, because
this is the groove that we've been getting into.
Okay.
Is let's talk about the Eiffel Tower and some other things. Because you did bring earlier in this conversation the end all be all or the epitome, the archetype that has been your boyfriend.
Yes.
Which are weird ass narrow-minded
bums.
Okay, now you're saying bums. Now I've been on this podcast for the last 2 episodes talking about Future and how he's not giving it up straight for the women. So I need us. I gotta keep the same energy, and I can't allow you to come on here and be a female Future. So you have dealt with bums.
Yes.
In bum ass activity.
Yes.
Now I don't know exactly in your mind or your eyes what constitutes bum ass activity from men, but I'm going to need you to
give me some examples.
I'm going to need you to give some examples because I need to know exactly what's going on and how much of that is your doing. Bum bum.
No!
You weren't expecting that. Yes.
Don't hold me accountable.
We take accountability for things here.
Not that much.
Yes.
So
but we also subscribe to the phrase, not your fault, but your responsibility.
But my responsibility.
Bow.
Bow. Bow.
Bow. Bow.
Bow. Bow. Bow. Literally, it's so funny. You got to catch me like working nights now because I just come in through the door.
Different.
Bow. Bow.
You bust through like your favorite color.
Flocka.
You say flocka?
No, I don't.
Wait a minute a second. What is... I go hard in the motherfucking paint. No, tell me, what is your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. So blue to you.
But a certain shade of blue. It's like a...
See, that's what I'm about to say. Is it cerulean? Like off
Shut the front door. Literally cerulean.
Is it? Wait, cerulean. That's how you say it. Cerulean. That's cerulean.
Cerulean.
I know that blue. And why do I know the blue?
Probably because of me. No.
Wrong.
No.
Why do I know the blue? The Devil Wears Prada.
Stop. You did not just say
Anne Hathaway.
Arguably, one of the best movies of our generation.
You have no complaint. You have no argument.
I love that movie.
You have no argument for me. I'm forgetting her name. What is the main?
Meryl Streep.
Thank you.
Come on.
No, I didn't mean to because she's the reason I love the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Meryl Streep.
Emily Blunt too.
Emily
Fantastic.
Blunt. Oh yeah, Emily Blunt is the other person. Yeah, she did. Everyone did well. Even as
Stanley
a side,
Tucci?
Adrian Grenier as the boyfriend of Anne Hathaway. You don't even know his name.
I don't.
You don't know his name. Don't nobody know his name unless you used to watch the HBO series Entourage. Oh. That was me back in the day. That show was made out about Mark Wahlberg and the life that he lived with his friends coming up through Hollywood. That's what that show's about. It's awesome. Yeah. So again, Adrian Grenier as the boyfriend of Anne Hathaway. Again, you have Emily Blunt. You have Meryl Streep. Yeah, it's all-star. It's a beautiful cerulean blue. So that is your blue.
That's my blue.
That's what's walking through. Okay, I just wanted to get that out the way too.
Yeah, I feel like
that's kind of the blue that you have on your little mariposas. Which, by the way, that's probably one of my favorite Spanish words. Le papillon.
Le papillon.
Le papillon is mariposa.
En français, oui.
Okay. I wonder if butterfly sounds cool to anyone.
To me.
I wonder how much English sounds cool to people that like Italian be sounding cool to us.
Yeah.
Spanish, the romance languages. Do you think anyone
hears English and they're like, oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't think so.
No? English is, what do you think is wrong with it? Because I know Russian and German.
I'll tell you.
By the way, shout out to Germany, shout out to Russia, shout out to all you guys everywhere.
Just yelling.
Yes.
You're
but it's a clearly more guttural of a sound.
And I have a theory on that, actually.
Tell me about your theory.
So a lot of romantic languages, especially French, I think that they evolved the way that they did to sound the way that they do now because of the Black Plague. And I'll tell you why. So when the Black Plague took out literally a third of the population of Europe,
yes,
obviously a lot of people were sick. Black Plague, there was a lot of phlegm associated with it. I forget what they're called, but it's like blood, phlegm, bile, something else. But getting sick with the Black Plague, one of the symptoms was like you would literally choke on your own phlegm. Okay. Which is just not a great way to go.
No, it's the worst.
So
rest in peace to Jimi Hendrix.
R.I.P. in peace. French sounds the way that it does. People make the joke like you speak better French when you're sick because it's a very nasally thing. Okay. The language, I feel, actually evolved to sound the way that it does now because of the Black Plague and so many people being sick with phlegm in their chests that this like le pièce résistance c'est dans le nez, like it's all here because of the illness itself made it as such.
Yo, if I'm going to tell you what.
And I will be doing research on this.
I was about to say, because I've taken a few of these sips of this drink on this table.
Well, drink.
Right now, my mind it's a little of it's being blown. I'm not going to even lie to you right now. You see me?
I do see it.
Like, wow.
I don't think I've seen this look.
Yeah, I live for this sort of stuff.
At least for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I've thought for a long time.
This is why I've been so passionate and enthralled with podcasting in conversation just as a whole. My whole life, I've always been very interested in why people don't do more communicational research. I understand that it's not going to be for everyone. And I understand that every time anyone gets into anything, they major in something, it's their passion. Yeah. They always wonder why the fuck other people aren't interested in it.
Why aren't you guys hip to this? This is cool.
It's just very cool. Yeah. And that's when you know you're a nerd for something, which, by the way, 11 thumbs up from me if you're a nerd for anything. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love...
Have some passion.
About something. Once. That's all the nerd is, right? We know that that's all the nerd is, right? It's something that's passionate about something. When I figured out that words could change people's lives, when I figured out that words can just, you can hear them and it can just unlock things in your mind and it just widen your gaze.
That's crazy.
And broaden your horizons. As soon as that happened, because I was talking to Keon the other week about why, because for a very long time, I wasn't not relaxing on this podcast. Like I was just really adamant about getting information through and expanding consciousness and being present. And present and mindfulness is still a thing that's just me. It's going to be here. Right. But as far as trying to get information to people and wisdom to people as best as I could, that I was very hell bent on that. When I realized that you could change people's lives by words, not just because I've heard testimonials of other people going through this, but because that has been my life. Yeah. I've read books, read words, and then upon reading a passage, my mind, like me having to stop and just close the book and just like sit.
When is the last time you felt that?
I usually feel that. I feel that quite a bit when I read stuff, but I really think it's because I'm sitting there and I'm there. I'm immersed in the book. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in the book, let me not say what I'm supposed to be doing. Everyone has their own way of engaging with stuff. The way I engage with things is I'm trying to get the most out of it as possible. For me, usually things are not used for escapism. So even when I'm reading a novel, it's not really used for escapism.
Right.
So I usually find a lot of those moments in a lot of books that I read. Because if you write a whole book, there ought to be a moment where I have to read something and sit back for a moment and really ponder. You would hope that would be the case.
Yeah.
No matter what sort of information you're ingesting, digesting, you would hope that that's a part of the process.
Yeah.
Having to sit back and be like, yo, whoa,
like,
I haven't heard it that way before. Like that one hit me a way to say, I got to maybe I need to make a call and talk to somebody. Like, what?
I gotta call my bestie on this.
Yeah, like has anyone ever heard this before? Like, what the fuck is going on? So it changes. But as soon as I was able to grant the idea that words can change people's lives and for the better, and next after that comes the realization or the revelation that I'm good with words and that I can actually do that thing, then automatically responsibility is bequeathed upon me from those realizations. And I think it's my cross to bear. I have to do, if I have the talent, I have the skill set, I've researched all this stuff for years and for a decade now.
Yeah.
And I'm old. And, and you realize that this stuff really does change people's chemistry. I need to go out and do this and be very mindful of it. And so that's a huge reason why I do this. That's why I was so hell bent on just being very strict with my wise talk on here. And I've relaxed and realized that I can't be coming on here and just be hitting people over the head with shit weak.
Why not?
It takes a toll because I started from me. You read to me something one time. It was very close to your heart, very near and dear. And I said to you afterwards, and you had no idea. But
how could I?
But I said to you afterwards that it seems like you're taking on almost insurmountable responsibility. I only know that because I lived it. I can only say that to you because that's me being able, because that resonates
to recognize.
I know that. I know that space.
It's the same but different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Same but different.
Exactly.
So I completely understand that. So I was in that space where I was taking on an unhealthy amount of responsibility. That's all it is.
Right.
That's all it is.
You recognizing it. Yeah, I mean, but it is.
When you talk to me about your father or whomever that has to get in touch with the new you and understand who you are, and you want to do your best so that they can perceive you in the correct light, and that the sun is shining through that stained glass window just right in the right. I stopped.
Yeah,
I stopped that.
And what
came from that?
A light walk you must walk.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing short of an orgasm. Nothing short.
There you go.
So about these old boyfriends that you had.
Oh, God.
Right?
Let's talk
Tell
about
me about the fuck shit that you went through with these boyfriends.
So before we really get into it, I will, should you allow me to, I will be posting this, at least segments of it on my my social media. So if you are an ex-boyfriend of mine, I go into this with love and compassion. Truly. Truly. You may remember it.
Let me let you get this off.
You may remember it differently.
You most likely will remember it differently.
You probably might, because let's talk about accountability, certainly. But I don't date people that I don't have fun with. So any memories that are shared, good or bad, like there's no regret. Like,
okay. There's no regret. There's no regret. Okay.
No regret. Exactly.
That's
exactly. I've made peace with lots of things, and I've taken them for what they are, and this will be the last.
Yeah. Yes. Of course. You had a trying enough day yesterday. I don't want to.
Oh my god! And we can talk about that too, because it was some fucked shit. It was real.
Well, let's talk about the bums. Let's soft step through the fuck shit, because that's what we're on right now. Tell me about these men that are going to see this.
So, I'm sure you might be able to deduce this from me as a person through our conversations, just through how I carry myself. But my personal cross to bear is because I am the sensitive type. I'm a very empathetic type. I go through my life very empirically. I use all of the senses.
Okay.
And in doing so, I've become very good at reading other people, recognizing what they need, but then the crux of that is I see myself as, okay, well, I see what they need. I can do that for them. I can be that for them. Yes. So I've
good old. You love a good old fixer upper.
I do. I love doing wifey shit for bums.
You
I really do.
You love finding somebody that they're on their last leg.
Yeah.
Limping around, trying to figure it out.
And you're like, oh,
I know exactly what you need. Aaron. Cerulean blue.
And what it is I've heard this actually from multiple ex-partners. When we're doing the synopsis of the relationship, when we're having the last words, the thing I hear the most is, you taught me how to love, or you showed me a different kind of love.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
that's cool. So when you told me before that you usually you're on great speaking terms, or at least you have great relationships with your exes.
I've never really burned any bridges with any ex-boyfriends. Like,
that's good.
I don't talk to all of them, of course. I don't talk to really any of them.
That's not, yeah. I get that.
There's no need to.
Okay. Yeah, that's not natural. Like, that's not expected of you.
Yeah.
To just speak with all of your ex-boyfriends.
Hey.
Yeah.
How's it going? Just checking in.
Yeah.
No. So that's been my thing is because I'm a sensitive type, because I'm a very empathetic type, I do like to think in romantic settings, I'm a good partner. Like, okay. I do think of myself as a good...
You think that you are a cooperative partner?
Some might disagree, but yes. Yes.
Oh, boy. I have to ask a question, though.
Ask away.
Some would disagree, but you say yes. Cooperative. You operate, right?
Yes.
With someone in a bilateral sense that you are taking part in the unit. In the capacity in which you ought to be. Ought to be meaning that you are just one part of it, that there is another person.
Yeah.
You have to be considerate of how they feel about things. Like I just said with this book, Reconcilable Differences, how you learn about things, how you understand things, how those people learn to trust, how they communicate.
Right.
You are in tune or try to be in tune with these things. Okay.
And it's not hard for me to discern these things because of the way that I operate. Like I know very quickly on, it's not that I'm looking for the shortcomings, but I recognize the disparities between communication styles, partnership styles. One of the main questions I always ask when I'm getting into a relationship, when I'm getting involved with someone, is what are your love languages and how would you rank them? And that's important to me. Like, how would you rank the love languages?
Yeah.
Acts of service, words of affirmation, gift giving, physical touch, and quality time.
Yes.
for me, acts of service is my number. Like, if you can perform acts of service for me, that is my number one. Gift giving, very low for me. Acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time. Those are like top 3 for me. So I always ask, like, what are your love languages? How would you rank them? If you do not know what love languages are, that puts them at a disadvantage to be in a relationship with me, because like now I feel I have to teach them about them. And they're not paying me for this shit. So I then have to educate on the love languages, and because they may not know what they are, I then have to take on the task of figuring out the ranking for them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
It does. Relationships are difficult.
Yes. And that's why I'm for the streets. These days.
People, honestly, even when people say that relationships are difficult, I think that they are underestimating the difficulty that goes into them.
The reward of a relationship is far, far outweighed. I'm sorry. The rewards of the relationship far outweigh the difficulties, but sometimes the difficulties,
if they outweigh the goods, then that means that you don't need to be in business for the goods. You don't need to be there.
See my last relationship.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So having to like come to the realization, like, okay, now we're at a point where the cons are outweighing the pros. Mm-hmm. We have to make the difficult decision to go our separate ways.
Yes.
I will be...
By the way, I think that when it comes to breakups, the person that is doing the breaking up, they hardly get the compassion and the empathy that they deserve. I think that people always give sympathy and empathy and understanding and compassion, shoulders to cry on, rose petals to walk on, chocolates and flowers, all sorts of shit, parades going on for these motherfuckers that get broken up with. But, and not to say that that's not okay, but people ought to think about the person that is really going out as in the world of ghosting people.
Yes!
The very few that are still willing to have the conversation with people about what is going on and why we're splitting ways and why we're leaving, why you have to deal with the other person looking at you and crying and being heartbroken and asking all these questions. And knowing that it's coming
out of left field for them. I'm so glad that you said that.
That's real.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yes. Let me give a shout out to all the people that are doing the breaking up. I know that sounds wild, but honestly, we need to have a full body discussion.
It's not fun.
It's not fun. People think that people just get shits and giggles off.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna go break this guy's heart.
Like, no, this shit is hard. That's a very difficult thing to go through. Yes. So shout out to those people, because you all deserve understanding. While I'm on that topic, shout out to all the people out there in the world that are still finding themselves opening the doors for people at stores and at restaurants or whatever, and having these people walk past you and not say a word to you, not look at you. Yo, shout out to you guys, because you're still keeping hope alive. You're still keeping greatness alive by continuing to open the door for people. Just had it to me happen the other day. I forgot where the fuck I was at. I was opening the door. Mm-hmm. Lady just walked, didn't look at, sometimes some people would just maybe give you like a little side nod or a little smile or something to commend. Yeah, just something. This woman didn't say a word. She didn't look at me. She didn't smile.
Was she pretty?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say like.
Nah, this was like a 50-year-old Asian woman. Just walked straight through. Like I don't know the factors. But this is the thing. If you're one of these types of people, you're probably. And when I say these types of people, the people that I'm shouting out that are still opening the door, that are still doing courteous things for people.
Yeah.
Those people have realized people are going to be who they are.
Yep.
I don't want that to now make me the jaded version of myself.
Yeah, don't take it personally.
I can't just lose hope on everything and lose hope on being a good person myself because so-and-so didn't want to say hi or hey, thanks a lot for opening this door for me.
Or just give like a general nod of acknowledgement.
Just a nod. Just acknowledge.
Yeah, I'll take a nod.
It's fine. So again, shout out to all these people. But you going ahead telling these guys of yours, these fuckboys of yours, these ex-boyfriends.
Most of them.
Again, you're leading with love and compassion.
Leading with love and compassion, truly, like.
But y'all are fuckboys at the same time.
But y'all fucked me up. I've learned so much about myself through my relationships, platonic or otherwise. And I appreciate that. And I always take that into consideration, like when I'm doing the post-mortem of a relationship. That being said, historically, I have always been the one to end relationships. I've had like situationships and like hookups.
Yeah.
For extended periods of time where like they would say like, hey, like we can't do this anymore. And like, that's fine. Like I've had my own grieving for that. But in my like real like relationships, like boyfriend, girlfriend, exclusive relationships, I have been the one to always end things. And it's not fun. It's not. It's really not. Because at the end of the day, I think it's in human nature to just want to be liked, really.
Yes.
And I don't ever want to be the person bringing, like here's something that you're going to have to deal with for at least a couple of weeks. Like, you will need to grieve this for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And
go ahead and hold on to this real quick.
Hold on to here. Let me just give you this.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Hold on to this L real quick.
Do what you will.
Hug it. Hug it.
Hug the L.
Hug the
This
L.
is your new friend.
Embrace
for a
the
little bit.
L. Take the L to bed tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do what you will.
Yeah. Do what you will.
And grow, grieve.
Hopefully, you do it better with the L than you did with me. No. Go ahead. No.
You said it, not me.
No. Go ahead.
You said it, not me. There are two relationships really that I think back on where I'm just like, man, I really fumbled that one.
Okay. Okay, so you do feel that way about some. Okay,
yeah.
I love that. Thank you for saying that. Like, damn, great person.
Fuck that up. Great people.
Great person.
Really genuine.
You feel like you weren't in the right state? Like there was no way you were going to be able to make that work because you were you were too immature or too just whatever.
The first relationship that I'm thinking on, yes, I was definitely way too immature. But both relationships, I was at places in my life where I should not have been in a relationship, period.
Right.
And that reflected actually in the way that these relationships came to unfortunate ends. Like, for example, like the most recent relationship that I got out of, very on and off. And I had prefaced the entirety of the relationship by saying, this was someone that I reconnected with from, I'd known him since high school. So like we had a storied past, if you will. And we reconnected when I moved back to Virginia last summer, actually.
Yes.
And I went into it literally saying verbatim, like, I do not want to be in a relationship. At the time that I had moved from California to Virginia, I'd actually just gotten out of a 3-year relationship. I'm a serial monogamer. That's the other problem with me, is I'm a serial monogamer. So I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship when I arrived here and reconnected with this person. And I had said, I am not trying to date anyone. And I said, I'm not trying to date men right now.
Yeah.
That was...
ladies, where you at? Ladies! But then a lot of people do that and fuck around and then they just get fucked on by a lady. And then they're like, oh shit, I guess actually... shitty people on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah. Well, people make the joke like, it'd just be so easier to be gay. And I was like, no, women are just as equally complex and confusing and frustrating. We just know how to communicate better with each other because the way that men communicate with other men is different from the way that women communicate with other women.
Okay.
So when a woman and a man are communicating, there's always going to be discrepancies. And that is really like the big hey.
What's up? Duty's home. This only happens Hey, for all you listening to No Duty, this nigga just walked in here and said, hey, what's up, random podcaster? All right, so random podcaster Aaron, This is damn. What you want me to do?
What you call me?
I already did it now.
Yeah,
hey, duty.
What's your government name?
Nah.
No. Okay.
I go by Duty more than I go by my government name. But.
Duty. Aaron. Duty.
Nice to meet you.
Wow. There you go. Easy. This only happens but a few times. He pops in.
We can edit it in post.
Every now and again. We won't.
No, let's not.
I told you nothing will be. But
you want to come sit and listen to me talk about my bum ex-boyfriends?
Well,
that's where we're at
I
right
have a bone to pick. If Duty, you do not have a microphone hidden in your room that came to this apartment, I got a bone to pick with Amazon because I ordered a third microphone. It would have been perfect. He could have came and sat down.
Yeah.
If Amazon actually delivered the package to my apartment, which one or two things, either they did and these new motherfuckers across the hall took it from me, or
they knew.
They just brought it somewhere else thinking that was the place that they were supposed to bring it to, which happens. But I got a bone to pick with Amazon. They need to get that here. There will be, for the listeners, 3-person pods on the way. 1,000%. Because there's certain people that I don't think I'm going to be able to get unless I tack on another person.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to make people comfortable anyway. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, 2 people. Oh, by the way, actually, now that you said that, you said what? Auxiliary?
Auxiliary.
Well, my friend Mo came on here a couple weeks ago, and he's been doing this thing where he'll take words from dictionary.com, word of the day, like I just brought in serotinol. Whatever the fuck the word is that I just brought in. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Right. For the late occurring in late summertime, that was the word. I just want to make sure because I can't be on here just sounding completely ridiculous. Yes.
Serotinol. That doesn't.
Serotinol.
Today I learned.
He came on and he gave the word ancillary.
Ancillary.
Or ancillary, which is the way that Americans say it. But what it means is sort of the same thing in a sense. Subordinate, subsidiary, auxiliary, assisting.
Okay.
Right? Exactly.
I like that.
So what I will say is that I need to be able to have 2 people on here, one of them kind of being auxiliary in a sense, or subordinate or ancillary. It's more so just, no, I'm the middleman. It's really more so just to have the other person a bit more comfortable. It's a support system. It's a pillar for the other person.
The Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity of sorts, if you will. But no, we're not off of what you were talking about.
No. There's so much more.
Which are really just fuck dudes. You taking accountability for the things that you did. You having to feel like you have to teach people things if they're not on to a certain point.
The minute that I become
you wanted to then date ladies. We gave a shout out to the ladies. But at the same time, I'll be the first to tell people that it's a communication thing first and foremost. So you can still bump into someone of your same gender, sex, whatever, and run into the same problems. Like it's not that easy, is all I'm saying.
It's not. So when people are like, "Oh, it's just easier for me to be gay," it's like, it's not. I would argue it's a little bit more complicated because I hate to say it. I really hate to say it, but there's this ongoing joke like. Bisexual women in particular, like, why do you date men? It's like, it's easy. Because it's easy.
It's easy to do what? Go out and fuck them, or it's easy to date them? These are
both.
2 different.
Both.
Well, I've been saying this for way too long because I've run into some women that haven't been held to standards, and I don't like that. And maybe it's because they haven't been with other women. Because I know that when they're with men. A lot of men aren't holding not all. A lot of men are not holding women to certain standards.
Yeah.
Women know a lot, especially pretty women know that they can go places and figuratively speaking, open their legs. It's a wrap. Right. You're getting pulled.
Let me just bat my eyelashes real fast and
you know what I'm saying? So people don't be holding them. So then when you come across someone that has like a bar set that has some preferences, has some prerequisites, right? Yeah. Some qualifications, something that they would like out of someone else.
Right.
And then you just have fucking women dragging along like, well, I'm here, so what's up?
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
No. So I understand what you're saying. I think that it's just very complex when it comes to dealing with people in general. Yeah. We've been talking about people being multifaceted, right? And having all these different avenues of trying to communicate and feel and process and understand things. So I just think that it's it's bonkers, period.
Yeah, dating.
Trying to date.
Every single time I'm in a relationship, I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I'm not dating. Like, I'm glad that I am.
Oh, so you don't like dating.
This is going to sound bad.
Mixed feelings, mixed bag.
I like the game, honestly.
I
do. But let me speak on this a little bit
because some of this toxicity out.
It's not toxic so much as it is ugly duckling syndrome, if you're familiar with it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I read the ugly duckling.
Yeah.
I read some. Listen, I haven't been to Paris, but I read the ugly duckling.
But I've been to Paris. I know a lot about it.
I've done a few things.
It's funny because like the same people who were anonymously DMing me in middle school to stop wearing tight shirts we consider jelly rolls are the same people now in my DMs. So
you was in my DMs back then, and you in my DMs now. But it seems like the same but different.
It's the same. Don't do this.
It's the same but different. You was in my DMs back then, and you were saying something. You in my DMs now, and you saying something, but you saying something.
Yeah, exactly. So that's when I say I like the game. That's what I like. I do like to flirt. I really do. I think it's fun. I don't think it's.
I know.
Yeah.
Who the fuck you think you talking to?
It's just
that fun. Was for the people. That wasn't for me. You're letting the people know you like to flirt. I get it.
We knew.
I get it.
I don't. I could be wrong. I could be a little toxic in thinking this. I don't think it's harmful. I think flirting is fun. It is another method of communication, and if anything, like all I'm trying to do is collect information.
Okay.
So the way you might react to a certain thing that I've said, maybe a little cheeky.
Yes.
I'm enigmatic. I'm a little cheeky sometimes as well.
A little edgy,
if you will.
Yes.
I am purely doing experiments. I'm purely a field researcher collecting
data.
Yes. Because that's what I'm saying. Like I have fun, certainly. I have fun in all the things that I do. I like talking to people. I just like interacting with other people. And so me flirting is just one other element of that. And I flirt with people that I may not even be interested in. It's just and that sounds bad. That sounds bad.
Because you feel like you're giving mixed signals? Because then if the person does feel like, okay, this is a cue that I'm supposed to work off of, then they work off of it, and you're like, oh wait, no, nasty, ugly motherfucker. No, I'm sorry. I was only flirting on you because I like the game. I was only flirting on you because I like to keep my tools sharp. Had nothing to do with me actually being interested. I articulate your sounds well is what I do. I don't make you. I make you sound however people feel because I'm listening to what you're saying, but none of these things that I'm even articulating for you, which I shouldn't be doing. But even even these things, they don't make me look at you any weird type of way.
Yeah,
I understand what it is you're saying, and what you're saying is a whole lot more ubiquitous than you would think. It's out there. It's widespread. People do this all the time.
Yeah,
is flirt with people that they would never be seen in public with.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a wrong thing to do. Really, I think that
because you're in it for the sport.
Yeah, and like some people are going to be upset with me for, I guess, revealing that women and men do that. But no, I think it's actually I think it stems from a place of ugly duckling, like knowing that at one point in my life, like people did not want to be with me,
right? And
now,
certainly a long-lasting effect.
There is an influx of people who are interested in me, and I'm not saying that just like.
Yeah. But it is.
I'm that bitch now, but it's like.
Nah, but
it's a very odd place to occupy.
1,000%. I agree with you.
Okay.
Yes. Nah.
Right.
1,000%.
Yes.
But this is the plight that I'll be talking on because, like you said, I have a great room. I've been to Paris. I've got this. I've got that. But look, even you feel the guilt off of that. And the thing is, no one ever really pities that person.
Yeah.
No one pities the person that's been to Paris. No one pities the person that can go and speak some French, that can talk to you about these different relationships and how people like them more now than them in their past. People that are breaking up with people, right? Like, no one's giving any of that, but no one's ever thinking about what those people go through. And that's a real thing, because people could say, oh, well, it's a weird space because people like you now and they didn't like you in the past.
To me, you just sound like some stuck-up bitch.
Yeah, like, exactly. But it's you're just
not that.
Right. If you ever
confident as a mediocre white man and y'all mad about it.
If you ever been in a position, because you can just take it outside of that, extrapolate. If you take it outside of that and you just think about being any type of person or dealing with anything for a long period of time, and then at a point in time, arising out of that, becoming something else, and then having to deal with what comes with that, and if that happens in a very short amount of time, it's a mind fuck.
Yeah.
It messes with you a little bit, and you got to try to get your bearings in life again. Mm-hmm. That is something that should be easily felt. I should very easily be able to feel that.
Yeah.
To connect with that. Mm-hmm. Because that's not something that just has to do with a very superficial attraction. Mm-hmm. Like that, again, if you extrapolate, that transcends and spills out into all different sorts of domains in life. Recognizing something and experiencing something in one point in time, mm-hmm. very quick, almost overnight success, or something happening at a point in time. And
sometimes it has been overnight.
And then, oh shit, people are looking at me differently. They're treating me differently. They're talking to me in a way that I've never experienced. There are problems, there are hills, there are mountains that have to be surmounted. There are things that have to be figured out after that takes place.
Yeah.
That's because it's almost, you're stepping into being a new person because the world is treating you in a way that it never treated you before. That comes with its own bag of tricks, and you have to understand that.
Like, pardon me for elevating my standards a little bit. Like, and I hate to say it, but like that's really what it was. Like, I've learned,
and it may not be in the shitting on people may come from words like elevating your standards. Maybe you should just say again, tapering,
reconfiguring,
reconfiguring, refining.
Yes,
you know your standards for things.
We had made a joke. I had made a joke about it a couple weeks ago.
We did.
Like, the bar is literally on the floor, or it's so easy, and that's what pisses me off.
Yeah,
like, acts of service is my number one love language. If you can make a reservation somewhere, if you can tell me, like, the dress code of where we're going, if you can tell me, oh, I'll drive us, it's on site.
Look at what you got going on in your life.
Literally.
You are dealing with mutts.
Yes.
Complete mutts. Like, what? These are just make a reservation, tell you the dress code, tell you where to be. I'm there. It's on site. You got me. I am bagged. Put a check mark next to me.
Literally
fork
done.
In me. I'm done.
That's it.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's exactly.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. And
that's crazy.
You partner
Aaron,
yourself.
I want more for you. You would not be in my home talking on my fucking microphone, sipping out of my mug in my glass.
In
front of what has been deemed by Mo, my IG lights, okay, if I didn't want better for you. I do. You need, you need better than
I am on my way, though. That's the thing, is
it's a journey.
You date the people, you surround yourself with the love you think you deserve. And so looking back at the previous relationships, I can see, like, literally where I was in my life, in my growth and development, because of the people that I was romantically involved with. And I was okay accepting some of these things because it's what I was okay accepting just for myself. Like, I thought this was it. The last relationship that I was in, I had truly never been loved in that capacity. Like, it was
in that capacity.
Yeah, and
you're speaking a whole lot about love and love languages, and I'm thinking about this book, Reconcilable Differences, again, that breaks it down a little bit more than just love languages. But I really do tell people that they should check this out. Like, I suggest that people check out Reconcilable Differences, Connecting in the Disconnected World by Donna Markova, PhD, and Angie MacArthur. Also, authors of collaborative intelligence, because I'm thinking about when people say this old maxim of treat people as you would like done unto you, whatever, however that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what if that person doesn't like the way that you like to be treated? Right. That's something that's very easily fathomed, I feel like. We can think about, okay, well, I'm going to treat this person the way I like to be treated. Yeah, but that's a great thing to tell your children, because it shows them consideration for other people in life. And that it shows them good intentions, that you want to do to other people at least what you would like done to you.
Right.
But then as you get older and you mature, that conversation has to nuance a bit. So then you have to ask, well, what if that other person doesn't like the way that you like to be received?
Yeah.
So I ask you the same question. What credence do you give towards people not loving you the way that you necessarily like to be loved, but you understand that this is the way that they love?
Yeah.
Like how can you, do you feel like that's something you can work around? Or if they're not, if their ranking of love languages doesn't necessarily compute or align with yours, is it just one of these astrology things where it's like, oh, you're a Capricorn? Nope, can't be friends, can't love you, can't fuck with
Capricorn.
You. So is it that same sort of thing? Oh, you rank them that way? Oh, this will never work.
Yeah.
Because from my understanding, just from communication as well as reading this book, it's more so an understanding of how that person loves.
Yeah.
And how you receive love. And if you can do that bilaterally, if both people can understand that, get a grasp on that through communication, then you might be able to have a much better chance of making it work. Even more so than some people that just have the same rankings of love languages, but still don't go about the communication of it in the correct way.
Yeah.
It gets dicey.
It does.
That's why I said all this is complex.
We can have a differentiation between the way that you want to be loved versus how you love. And that's the other thing too. Like when I ask you your love languages, I ask you to rank it like, what do you like to receive? What do you like to give? Because it's not that I can't figure it out on my own, but it helps.
Yes.
It helps.
I understand.
And
it's a little roadmap with a little legend at the bottom.
Yeah, just give me like an outline of what I'm getting into. Yeah. And I've been in relationships where like what is given and what is received love language wise is completely disparaged. Like it's a complete like opposites attract kind of thing. But it doesn't work out long term. It doesn't. And actually,
which is why you out here for the streets these days, doing you.
Well,
it's okay.
Well,
how are you enjoying the streets? How are the streets treating you, Aaron?
Very well.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll tell you what. If we're gonna edit something and post it's that, because she's nasty now. Because now she just said straight up. I asked her how the streets were. She said, "The streets. The streets have never felt. Oh my God, it's just newly repaved.
Yeah,
it is slick. It is slick out there. It is doing very well. I love driving the streets late at night.
So you know how I was saying, like, if you can do literally the bare minimum for me,
then you are willing to do the most for them.
Yeah, yeah. So
yes,
Uh-oh.
Do it. Say it.
So I had broken up with this most recent partner, and and I went to them with complete honesty. I said, we were very on and off, so this was literally the fourth time I had broken up with him. This was the final.
Jesus Christ. Look, how many times you got to get broken up with?
Take a hint.
Jeez Louise.
And so I just went to him and I said, look, like, this has run its course for me. I don't feel the same way anymore. And I, like, genuinely with every fiber of my being, I was sorry to have been the one to, like, say this and be the one to really cut things off.
Okay, you're sorry for cutting things off with
and I'm sorry for doing it in the way that I'm doing it.
Okay,
I'm sorry
going
for
to the bathroom. 1 second.
Okay. Well, because I want to wait until you're back.
No, for sure.
Because
if you want to just speak some French to the people.
Monologue. En français, c'est mon deuxième langue. Et quand j'étais plus jeune, j'habitais en Belgique, donc j'apprenais la langue française. Et je comprends beaucoup, mais quand je parle, c'est comme ça. Je dois pratiquer un peu, c'est vrai, oui, mais en chance, what's the word I'm looking for? J'apprends un ami nouveau, Jean-Baptiste. Jean-Baptiste. Il fait du pain au travail, oui. Et parle français. Il parle français très bien, très beau. Et donc, nous pratiquons le français encore, tout le monde. This is a little embarrassing on my part, if I'm being completely honest. Allons-y.
Are you singing to
And you know what's funny? I was thinking like, ooh, if I'm gonna have a mic in front of me with like a pop filter and everything, I might sing a little bit. But no, I just straight French.
But you, just straight. Oh, you just giving French to the people?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
You'll hear it. You'll hear it.
That's very nice. You're upset that you had to break it off. Not only that you had to break it off with this person, but also in the way that you decided to do it.
Yeah,
how did you decide to do it?
Because what it was for me, and I
you
had
sent one of those airplanes in the sky that leave a little trail, and it was just like, we're done.
Basically, I went over to his house and I was like, this is it.
Nice,
and we literally had plans like 2 weeks following to go up to Massachusetts together for like a family wedding. So it was like a thing. Yeah.
Good news never had, or bad news never had good timing.
No.
That's what it is.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
the thing.
When do you do it? You got plans.
But you
coming
have
up.
to be
There's
honest.
always that's the thing. There are always plans with someone. There's always something brewing, right?
Yep.
There's always like
this was a big plan too.
a birthday coming up, or a Christmas, or this or that. So anytime,
Wedding.
or Valentine's Day, a wedding, oh Jesus,
An anniversary,
right?
Oh
Anniversary.
my God.
So anytime you're about to do it, it's never a good time.
Nope. No. But I knew that I had to do it sooner rather than later because
You needed the untethering.
I needed the untethering.
You knew that
I really
you needed
did.
the untethering.
And I had mentioned this to him previously in one of our previous breakups, actually. That
That's so funny.
So bad.
That's so funny.
I had told him, and he was like, I don't buy it. Like, I don't believe this. But this was the honest truth. Like, I asked him, I was like, or not asked him, I told him, I said, I don't think you and I see the moments the same way.
Okay.
Like,
meaning you guys don't share the same recollection of the moments, or that within the moments themselves?
Within the moments themselves, we do not perceive, process, acknowledge, enjoy, and appreciate.
Oh, okay.
The same way.
Yeah.
And that was actually a big thing for me. And, I had said it to him multiple times prior, and he just like, I just don't buy it. I feel like that's a cop out. I'm like, well, no, that's like the actual thing though, is like when we go somewhere, and like I'm a visual person, so I'm a very experience based person. I couldn't give a damn about if you take me out to a fancy dinner, but like if we go for a picnic, if we go to a museum, like if we are doing something.
I'm the king of the picnics, by the way. The king.
I'm single, Earl.
And by the way, it started for me just trying to find more frugal ways to have dates.
Yes,
years
exactly.
and years and years ago. That's what it started.
The thought behind it, that's what matters to me.
Yes.
But if I can't have, the other thing too is like intellectual conversations. Like I needed to be able to just have like full like.
He wasn't even there for you.
No.
You felt like you had to do nothing but teach these motherfuckers. Yeah. Every time I got to teach you. The minute I became notify y'all.
Yeah.
I don't got time for all of that.
I don't. Like I have too much on my plate. I've been to Paris.
I've been to Paris. Does it seem like I've
seen time? The Mona Lisa.
I've seen the. Oh, have you really though?
Yeah.
How was the Mona Lisa in person?
If I can be completely honest,
yes,
very underwhelming.
Very underwhelming. But it's only because of the expectations that you've had your whole life.
The expectations, for sure, but also the painting itself is significantly smaller than you would imagine. And here's the thing, is the Mona Lisa is here on this wall, which is like 20 feet high, 15 feet across. It's the only painting on the wall.
Better be. It ought to be.
And it's like hordes of people surrounding the velvet rope to just like I saw the Mona Lisa. Meanwhile, on the other side of the wall, there are priceless Van Goghs and Monets. And it's just like, this is what we're looking at. It's some bitch smirking. When literal, prolific, admittedly way more visually enticing images and paintings and works of art are 10 feet this way.
Okay.
So that was it for me. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Like, when I see these things, like, I definitely appreciate it. Like, being able to say, like, I have seen the Mona Lisa in person. I do not take that for granted whatsoever. Like, that is something I hold very near and dear to my heart. Also, being the person to live rather empirically and using all those senses. Like, I see it for what it is. Awesome. Check. And then it's like, okay, but no one else talks about the fact that the room that the Mona Lisa is in is also filled with priceless works of art that, like, no one's going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So that's just, like, that's my beef with Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
We before we were talking about the differences in perceiving the moment.
Yes.
Just like, I don't know. I here's an example that I use. I went to the botanical gardens with a friend, and when I'm like pointing at something like, oh, look at this, it's not me being childish. Like, oh, like, come over here and look at this. It's like
Botanical Gardens, like Longwood, Pennsylvania?
in DC.
Oh,
DC.
Gotcha.
We like walked the mall, went to all the botanical gardens, a couple of the Smithsonian's in there. It was nice.
Shout out to Longwood Gardens out in PA. I believe that's where it is.
Okay.
I've been there once. Beautiful. I love places that just, like an amusement park, but just flowers.
Yes.
Like, it's like,
yes.
Like, wow.
Exactly.
Like, y'all really just built this whole thing just based off of flowers, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it rightfully so. Because
yeah, 1000%.
Like, flowers are so alien.
Yeah, if you've never been to a botanical gardens, I could see you thinking that it's a weird thing. But if you go to a real garden,
you're like,
with a
okay,
real
I can
beautiful
spend a day.
observatory and all sorts of stuff, it's like, oh no, y'all. Yeah, when you walk into an observatory with all different sorts of plants, flowers, trees you've never seen, and they're 27 different kinds of butterflies flying freely.
Yeah.
And they just land on your shoulders and stuff. I'm like, oh, y'all built heaven.
Yeah, literally.
Y'all
heaven
built
on earth.
Like,
we are here.
Okay, yeah, that's a different experience.
That's what I like. Those are the kinds of dates that I like. It's more experience based.
Okay.
So I went with a friend to botanical gardens, and we were remarking on the art sculptures in the gardens. And I had, like, for me, when I say, like, look at this thing, it's not come over here and look at this thing. It's me saying, come over here and remark on the thing that I am observing, and then say something to me that lets me know that you have also remarked on the same thing. Let's start a conversation about it. Let me know that you are appreciating it. Maybe not the same way that I am, but you are appreciating it in your way, and let's talk about it.
Okay.
So, and it sounds silly, but when I was with this person, a girl, I might add, no romantic interest whatsoever, but she is also bisexual. So, like, I feel like it was kind of like a pseudo date. I don't know. But we were in one of the gardens, and she's looking at this orchid that has purple petals with orange, like, leopard spots all over it. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. And she's like, she points at it and she goes, oh my God, like, look at the petals on this, And the moment that she said it, I was like, holy shit. That's exactly what I have said. Not just what I've said, but, like, I know that what she's asking right now is exactly what I've been asking of every partner beforehand. And now I'm in a place and position where I'm experiencing more or less what I would be doing with someone else. But also, like, I know that's what she wants from me. Yeah. And so, I don't know, it's like a very weird epiphany where she just asked me, like, hey, like, come look at this petal. And I was like,
come look at this petal.
Come look at this petal.
This petal is so pretty.
And then I fell in love. No. But, like, just, like, being able to explain
that is just doing the least and getting the most out of it.
On the floor.
Come look at this petal. Oh my God, I'm so in love with you.
So in love.
No one's ever looked at the petal with me.
Yeah. No, literally. That's how easy it is. It floors me. It floors me.
Yeah.
And so that was a literal moment where I was like, oh, okay, like, this is not what I'm getting out of my current relationship. It feels very futile for me to continue trying. Like, and other things had happened at this point that just brought me closer and closer to that decision. And then having that moment with someone else, like, it was a platonic but potentially romantic circumstance.
Yeah.
Well, and especially, like, being in a partnership with a man versus a woman, like seeing that kind of difference, I was like, oh, okay.
Again, I don't know nothing about any. Maybe I need to check out the fellas.
Maybe.
Is that what I need to do? Do I need to go check out the fellas so I can understand what you're talking about?
I don't think anyone is
I wonder
truly
what
straight.
the fellas would treat me. How they would treat me.
Yeah.
How would the fellas treat Earl? Like if I decided to go out and be like, hey, my man.
Let me know. I know that.
Hey,
I know that
dude.
girls know how to do it for sure. Like I made a joke like we should go get coffee beforehand because if you ask any gay person, like they're always down for a coffee.
Yo,
Always
you're
down for a
coming up with
coffee.
just wild things
Anyone?
and tropes and stereotypes. Like,
Nope. Any LGBTQA out there
Plus.
knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, specifically bisexual and pansexual people.
Specifically love coffee dates.
I swear to God. Swear to God.
Okay.
You never have to ask a bisexual person if they want to get coffee because the answer is always yes. The answer, I'm
Do you
telling
understand? Like the things that you have said, it's not me like refuting any of them, but they're on the face of them. They're the funniest things ever. Like when you say, if you walk in a room with the confidence of a mediocre white man, you can achieve anything. Nothing can stop you. Just on the face of these things. Like I wish the things that you said. Have you thought about making bumper stickers out of some of the things that you said?
Yes.
Have you made bumper stickers?
No.
Okay, still in the process.
I'm gonna write a book.
You're gonna write a book. You don't want the bumper stickers. Bumper stickers are too cheap for you?
No, I just think
You should get into that. I mean, you can write a book too.
why
You'd
not
also
both?
get off some bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
I think so.
Why not? You would be
fuck
so
it.
happy if you were riding down the road and you saw a bumper sticker. You're like, that's me!
I did that.
That's me! I said that thing
'cause I
about
also-
mediocre white men. That's me!
I want the experience of like when you're reading a book and you see that one line that just like
Oh.
I gotta close it and walk away.
Oh,
from
you
it.
want to give that, so you
Yeah.
don't want to give it away.
And I have too many things to say to put on one bumper sticker.
Too many things to
So
say.
there you go. We were talking. Oh yeah. Because talking about the differences in just experiencing things. I felt that there was a huge disparity in the way that things were enjoyed between the two of us. There was some discrepancies between actions and words too that at one point really upset me. So speaking on the Finsta, we'll talk about the Finsta. I don't necessarily only post, pictures of me in my bathing suit, but like if I'm feeling myself, like a picture's probably going to go up. And I had gotten a lot of pushback from my partner at that point, even though it was and I don't like that. And I don't like that because I value my independence very much.
Okay, I'm with you. Go.
I am comfortable, competent, and confident to be in a relationship with someone. And I don't do things
Y'all don't know about the 3 C's.
Yeah. I wouldn't do anything to make my partner feel uncomfortable. However, I've had partners feel uncomfortable with some of the things that I do, but that's the nature of myself in my expressions. Like
it's not your intention to put this person off cue. It's just you trying to be in your natural state, and that's just what it's going to be.
Yes, exactly.
And this is why I brought into the scope of this conversation the untethering. That is the reason why I lit up the way when you brought this up to me, or I brought it up to you, however it went down.
Yeah.
However it was birthed the other day, when you said, fuck all the small talk, Earl. How's your heart?
Yeah.
And I told you I felt liberated. I felt creative. I felt imaginative. I just felt free. I felt me. Right? And then you're like, oh, fuck. Me too.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
You think it's something in the air? Is this a paradigm shift taking place and we're just not aware of it? Does this have something to do with the collective consciousness of all the people that happen to be tuned in and tapped in to the source, right? Without saying all these things, that's what you said.
That's what I said, yeah.
Okay. Again, I read. I haven't been to Paris, but I read. I haven't crowded around the Mona Lisa to try to look at the brushstrokes, but... And by the way, when you speak about the size of I've seen... very tiny. I read this in the Smithsonian. I think it may be that Smithsonian that's sitting over there on the board right now.
Nice.
But a Smithsonian of old, maybe Chinese paintings that were like, I want to get this right, but it's something like an inch by an inch or 2 inches by 2 inches.
Oh my God.
And they use like their paintbrush is like the hair of a mouse or some shit like that. And they just sit there and they paint with like the hair of a mouse, these itty bitty portraits. But they're beautiful when zoomed in or when magnified. They're amazing pieces. Yeah. So again, the size of it for me, that doesn't, it matters, but within the context of the rest of the painting. If I'm looking at the painting and I think that the brush strokes and the technique is amazing, and then you do that on an extremely small canvas with a rat hair in your hand, wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got
It's not the product, it's the craft itself.
It's the craft. Mm-hmm. It's the love in the craft.
Yes.
I walked into a place called the Torpedo Factory. It's in Arlington or Alexandria. I think it's Old Town Alexandria, some shit like that. Torpedo. And you walk in, and is it Torpedo Factory? Yeah, Torpedo Factory. You walk in there, it's a bunch of exhibits, but you can also walk into the studios of the artists. And you can go in there and buy their stuff. You see them in there working on their stuff. Yeah. They'll take a break from working on what they're working on and talk to you about what it is that you're looking at.
A dream.
I walked into one place and this Asian dude was looking at this painting. I was looking up at it. This shit was large. I don't even know how large it was, but it took up like a whole wall. It was large.
Yeah.
And he was like, I've been working on that one for about 6 years. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
That's a child.
You've been working on something for 6 years?
Yeah, no.
The pain, the anguish, the experience you get.
Yeah.
You starting other paintings, getting done with them, finishing, selling them, the relationships you're having with people, yourself, the outside world, and you're working on this thing for 6 years. We're going to get a bit of that.
Yeah.
In these 6 years of you creating this.
Every phase of life in those 6 years is in the painting itself.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think to
in
look
the different
for that unless you knew how to. Yes.
Within those different phases.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're subsets of these things.
And that's crazy to me. Like, people like you and I would understand that and we would appreciate that and look for those sorts of things. But that's why, people have such a beef with modern art. There's this, this theory that modern art is, I could do that, plus, yeah, but you didn't. And people have there's a lot of qualms about modern qualms.
Yes.
About modern art because it looks like it was so easy to do. Like it's just like a black circle painted on a white background. It's like, okay, but it's not just the product itself, it's the process. It's the process behind it.
But sometimes even the process may not have been that deep, to be honest. Yeah. It's really just the way that the person relates to the thing.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. That's the value. Because you don't know the process.
That's
always.
Beautiful, though.
No, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Listen, we did a podcast before where a dude sold nothing for like millions of dollars. When I say nothing, it means like there was nothing there.
Yeah.
Like it was like 4 pieces of tape on the ground. And it said, this is for imagination. And they sold that shit for like millions of dollars. Right? So I understand that the art world is a little bit different. It's just the way that you touch on things are a little different. Mm-hmm. So listen, I'm gonna give it up to those people. If you want to spend your money on, then hey, you go ahead and you do that. I'm good on the imagination.
Yeah.
That I have to unfurl for 4 pieces of tape on the ground. Right? Like I'm good on that. That's for the next person. But I do also still acknowledge and appreciate the fact that people look at things and they just have a connection to things the way that they do. Sometimes you can just be an art snob and have a bunch of money and just buy shit just for the shit of it.
Yeah.
Maybe you buy it with you. So. Maybe you buy it for the appreciation of the item and you're going to pass this down generation to generation, create generational wealth. Yeah. I don't know what the play is, but I leave that for other people.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
I forgot where I was getting to from like the very, very beginning of all this.
Art. Appreciation.
I think it came
Mona Lisa.
It came before art. I think. I forget exactly. We've been all over the place. It's been cohesive, but not cohesive. It's been a little
abstract.
But it's been abstract. I work in abstraction.
We knew this.
So I guess I'll just say that. Yes. It matters the way that we interact with things. It matters the way that other people perceive the way that we interact with things. It certainly matters if one of those people are going to be your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when it comes to the untethering,
mm-hmm.
I told you I had a guest on here. She was actually my ex-girlfriend. Shout out to Jess. Jess, what up? Jess be giving it up for the pod. She loves the pod. She's been listening for forever.
Very nice.
She's super awesome.
Nice.
To
Jess.
Clink. To Jess. She's gonna love that. So she was with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work out. As it usually doesn't.
Yeah.
Break up. She notices this person after the breakup. You know what I mean? You see, I don't know if it's tweets, Instagram posts. You had guys have mutual friends. They clearly keep you up to date on stuff that you don't even really care to be up to date on, but they just let you know how your old man.
Just in case you forgot.
Like this is what they're doing now.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't ask you. Yeah, but this is what they're doing. Just in case you know, this is who they're hanging out with. This is what they're doing. This is the tea on them, right? In that they were behaving and conducting themselves in a way she had never seen.
Mm-hmm.
What I get from that is we too often get into these relationships and we think we want to go about it the right way. We want to give ourselves into getting out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
The comfort zone could be, well, I'm going to be for the streets and just have fun, run around, do my thing, whatever. And that's cool. And there's no shade on that at all. Not from me. Not from Earl. Not from Earl Lonnie Hooks.
Let's not get twisted. Definitely
not from Earl
me.
Lonnie Hooks. But, or I should say, and.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not negating so many things these days. I'm not saying
anything before the word
but. I'm saying and.
Does not exist.
And. We put ourselves in situations with the right intentions, because I give people that benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know exactly what benefit of the doubt is, but I give people the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. They went into this with the right intention. I went into this with the right intention. When you find someone that is a free spirit, or maybe just more free-spirited and looser than you are, and you try to start boxing them in to conventional planes in life, you will quickly find out that you have gotten them all the way fucked up.
Yes.
Right? You thought that whatever you thought was going to happen in the way that you thought it was going to happen, that's not the case. I was telling someone recently that upon learning about me and people learning about me, that I'm not quite the conventional person. I don't even know exactly what that means.
Yeah, nothing about you screams conventional.
Right. So you learn more and more about me, and you spend time around me. You learn that more and more, and every day you start to learn, oh, fuck. With that too, with the way that you drink food, to eat food, drink beverages, the way that you sleep, the way that you think about this, the way that you go about it. It turns out that it's everything that I do. Mm-hmm. I've sculpted everything in my life the way that it needs to be tapered and catered for me.
Yeah.
Now, I heard from a very, very prominent clinical psychologist during a debate that, not meaning that all conservative people are stupid and need to be in a herd somewhere just following smarter people, but that if you do think badly, meaning your processes, your analysis of things, your critical thinking is subpar, it's not good. And you should be able to be objective with these things and know whether you're a great thinker of things or not. And if you're not a great thinker, it is safer for you to be a more conservative person. Not necessarily just in politics. I know I'm using that word. What I'm saying is just more a conventional conservative person. Just follow the herd. Because if you don't, that means that you'll be trying to make daily decisions just based off of your thinking.
What you know.
And you're going to do very badly over there. So you should just do what's safer, which is doing what everyone else does. Now, if you're not one of those people, then you can start making decisions just cater to you and how you're going to move, because you're better with critical analysis of things. I like to think I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
So that's how I live my life. What feels good to Earl? What caters to Earl in my specific way of engaging with the world? That's how I do things. So then when it comes to people learning about me, wanting to be around me, wanting to be a part of my life, well, you're kind of a difficult person to get with.
you're
there's
difficult
so
to
much.
be with because you are more.
Because you're more. Because
Yeah.
you're new.
Yeah.
Because you're refreshing. I haven't been in these waters before. This is uncharted territory for this person on the outside. Right? So it takes a lot of learning, a lot of re-engagement, a lot of recalibration, as we were saying, a whole lot of it takes a lot of that. A lot of reforming things, a lot of reformation that has to take place in people's minds to be with people that are a little bit more free spirited, just different thinking.
Yeah.
So in my experience, when you take one of these people, such as myself, maybe such as you as well, and you try to box them into what you feel like your conventional sense of relationship or relating to someone else ought to be, you're going to run into a lot of bumps on the road.
Yeah,
because what you're doing is you are taking someone that feels free and feels good and invigorated living outside of the norm. That's what feels good to them.
Yeah.
And you're trying to drag them back into the box with everyone else. And that's not where they shine. That's not where they flourish.
No.
So that's why a person like you or I would feel liberated or so great and embrace each other the way that we did the other day if we feel like there has been a slight untethering taking place in our lives.
Yeah.
Which is why when you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, I know what type of time she's on. I know what type of time she's on. Yeah, buddy.
No, but it's actually funny because the untethering that I was referring to was not with a romantic partner. It was actually with my dad.
But I get that through conversation. But and I even told you then because you said, yeah, I don't think that you think that the untethering I'm going through is with the type of person that you think is. It doesn't matter.
Right.
What matters is the context of the untethering, which means you were either being placed in a box by someone else or you were allowing yourself to be placed in a box by someone else and you wanted to fulfill whatever perception they had of you to some degree.
Yeah. Well, as a people pleaser, 100% yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you decided, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. And you cut the tethering. You cut the cord. And then you felt the liberation that comes with that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you cut that person out of your life. It means that you cut the idea of who you needed to be to that person out of your life.
Yes.
And your perception of things is your world. That's your reality.
That's all we have, Earl, is the moments. You know,
I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get you.
Because it's coming to terms at the same time, one, no longer being, not commanded, but no longer living by the expectations of others, which is tough to do because
no longer living in a authoritarian, dictatorial sort of state.
Really, truly.
Yes. That makes a big difference. Being liberated from slavery, being emancipated is a huge deal. You just ask some people.
Is that why I feel like 30 pounds lighter?
It feels a little different when you take those shackles off.
Yeah. And it's just like no longer having to live up to those expectations. But those are expectations that are put on to us by other people. But there's also a bit of complacency with that. Like when you ascribe to those expectations, of course. So it was, I had done the work of not living by those expectations anymore, but the untethering truly came from me. Like, the connection was, these people had these expectations of me. The untethering is me no longer molding, acting in the way that is conducive to those expectations.
Yeah, and performing.
Exactly.
Yes.
It felt very performative.
Yes.
It felt very much like...
Bye, Duty.
All right, man.
You get out there and get to them young folk. Hey, man. You know what I mean? Duty, let me talk about Duty. This is my man. He comes on, you know what I mean? He's out here. Everything he's got on, he's a coach. He's out here He's out here in 2 sports. He's out here, but you want to talk about 2 of them. He out here in 2 sports.
Stop.
He's back out here in the community, raising these young boys, trying to give them something.
Boys to men.
Your boys to men. Boy.
the future.
Although we've come to the end of the road.
A I'll let you teach the youth. I'll let you teach the future. We'll talk about Paris another time.
It's unnatural. You belong to me. I belong to you. All right, later, man.
He's fun.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing Boys to Men.
I love Boys to Men.
Who doesn't? Yes.
My dream, I know they're doing a residency somewhere in
Tims
Vegas.
and Bobs of age 48 and older.
I just love Boys to Men. It's actually funny. So my dad was very much a big, like a lot of my music taste now, like my dad was a huge classic rock and roll type father. So like I have a lot of that. And then my mom was a huge R&B. So we were listening to Brian McKnight, Boyz II Men, people of that sort growing up. And so now it's just interesting to see like the kind of music that I'm wanting to create is very much based in the combining of those two things of the rock and roll,
of classic
R&B.
rock and rhythm and blues. People that don't know, it's where R&B came from. Rhythm and blues. For y'all that don't know, it's fine.
Black
It's all
people
good.
made rock and roll.
Black people, I didn't even want to get into it. Like, where is this coming from?
Well,
I'll
and
just
it's
state this.
It's not my space to talk about it, but it's true.
Nah, fuck that. I'm not with that. I'm in the space of people can talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about. It's just up for the people listening to discern if you know what the fuck you're talking about or not. You
But
can say whatever you want to. But it's up for me to be able to delineate between the real and the fake.
Yeah.
What it is you're saying that is credible and what it is you're saying that is standing on no legs whatsoever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your color is.
It is a huge thing to be able to say, I don't know enough about that, so I cannot speak on it.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
But yeah,
but that's like just a human being a human being about anything. It doesn't necessarily have to do with what culture, ethnicity you come from. It's just I don't know. That's hard for some people. There is black shit people can bring up to me in conversation. I'll be like, I've got no idea what you're talking about right now. Period. And that's just that. And you're not taking away my black card. These things are stupid.
Give it to me. Hand it over.
Yo, giving you my black card is hilarious. Giving you my black card would actually get my black card taken away.
Yeah.
For real. Like people would be like, yo, this podcast is over with.
I wouldn't want that.
We're done with this podcast.
No, it's actually funny how I talked about it earlier, but like I'd say like 98% of my existence is based in hyper irony.
Okay.
And so I would think it'd actually be hilarious for you to give me the black card, being like a hyper ironic, stereotypical white girl.
You want my black card?
Could I?
You want to have it?
You want to tie it up?
Hold on a second. Let me give you my black. Let me get my black card.
Hold on. I'm so glad this is being
real
documented.
Quick, let me give you my black card.
You know, I'm never gonna stop talking about this, right?
There you are. What does my black card say on that side? What does it say?
What makes you lose track of time?
Oh, that's.
Can I talk about?
Yeah, this is what. So Keon and I used to do meaningfulness cards on the podcast. I actually
want to talk about something like this.
We've gone through all of these now. There's like 36 of them in there. We've gone through all of them. But I just, I gave you my black card right now and you read it.
And I'm keeping it forever.
And what's funny is I actually have the answer for you real fast. This was my answer back then. It'll probably continue to be my answer for it. I just looked over at my laptop. We're at 2 hours and 47 minutes.
No way.
1,000%. So engaged conversation is what gets me lost.
That's not real.
We're rolling up on 3 hours. So we can go ahead and, you know what I mean, and wrap this up and then just hang out.
Is that what you want?
You know what I mean? You want to hang out? We can just hang out. Yeah, we've done enough. We've done enough for the people.
Okay, but before we do that,
give me some.
Here's the thing, because it's in relation to these sorts of things, and I wanted to talk to you about this. So, have you heard of this game called We're Not Really Strangers?
Nope.
So it's a card game, and there's 3 levels. Essentially, all they are is just like question cards that you get in a group. It's like Cards Against Humanity. You get in a group and you pull these question cards and you ask the questions and you get the answers, whatever. So level 1 is like basic conversation questions, like color, what did you want to be when you grew up, those kinds of things, the small talk, if you will. Level 2 is a little bit more connective, like a little bit deeper kinds of questions. And level 3 is like, let's really get down to the nitty gritty of it. So that game exists.
I love that wrap up on that. That game, everything I just said meant something.
It's a real thing.
It exists.
You can purchase it.
Yes.
At your local retailer.
Oh, that's when you know it's real, when you can purchase it.
Purchase it. Yeah. Forget like imaginative
no,
thoughts
no. Consumerism.
Critiques. Yes. Well, I want to actually
capitalism.
Speak on that. Let's talk about capitalism actually, because I bring up this card game because around the same time that I was, playing this game with my mom and my sister, I'm remarking on this game was created to create more connectivity between people. Okay, like really any board game, card game, it's meant to bring people together. Yes. But this game specifically was created
the bringer of the together.
Yes, exactly. the bringer togetherer.
The bringer togetherer. The bringer together.
Game. So I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking like, okay, and I am notorious for overthinking sometimes.
Okay.
But I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking, okay, the purpose of this game was to ask these questions that one might be a little hesitant to ask or to answer. But when I think about it, it's really the commodification of human connectivity.
Okay.
So around this time, I'm having this thought. I'm reading an article on Tesla is either in the process of or already in the works of creating their own artificial intelligence.
Yes.
They're making robots. They're programming for AI.
I've talked about AI a bit on here. Yes, in the Neuralink, which is Elon Musk's company.
Yes. And I'm thinking on this is one of the things I wasn't practicing how I would talk about it, but I was thinking about how I would segue into it and then connect these two things. But AI predominantly is an idea that is conducted, researched, experimented, created mostly by men. And before we get further into it, this is not like a feminist critique. It's not like a men versus women thing. Like, statistically speaking, like when it comes to AI, this is something that men
when it comes to the engineering field.
Yeah.
When it comes to engineering and IT fields in general,
it is male dominated.
More men are interested in things, tangible items, right? In like little gadgets and things like that than women are. Women, statistically, from what I understand from the research, indicates that women are more interested in people.
Yes.
In relations than they are
patterns.
With little gadgets and things of such sort. So, of course, when you get into engineering, whether it's building rockets or it's building Neuralink or it's building AI, whatever the case is, men are going to be at the forefront of it.
Yes. So there are some, I wouldn't even call it pushback necessarily, as people are like commenting on this male desire, if you will, to create life itself, because women are the life creators, they're the life bringers. Like, it is a feminine thing to be able to make a life from seemingly nothing. And so before people start chanting penis envy, like, penis envy is a totally real thing. Okay, like, I would love to be able to walk down the street at night without fearing of being murdered. That's something.
Oh shit!
Oh, no.
I thought you were talking about you just needed to take a piss somewhere and you just wanted to whip your penis out.
That would be ideal as well.
Okay.
No. Okay. So sidebar. So there was a research. There was a study done. If men were women for a day and if women were men for a day, what would you do? And the number one answer for men was, I would masturbate, or I would look at my naked body. I men being a woman, like, they would just play with their boobs all day. For women. Don't act like you wouldn't. For women...
No! I wouldn't!
Well, we can get to your answer in a second.
Boobs. Okay, go ahead.
For women, the number one answer, if they were a man for the day, the number one answer was they would take a walk. They would go and take a walk without fearing that someone was going to jump out of the bushes and grab them.
Okay.
And, RIPE them and those sorts of things. Like,
okay.
So like that kind of disparity.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I see like penis envy really coming through. So that's what I mean when I say like I'd love to be able to take a walk. And
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this construct of AI and wanting to create life or a simulation of life without the actual biological process of it.
Yeah.
And then also looking at how human connection is now being commodified. I mean, if you want to like hyper intellectualize it, that's kind of what it is. But like we are literally putting things out on the market for you to purchase, to contribute to the great capitalistic machine, to get to know your fellow being, your fellow human.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering, I kind of left it more abstract because I wanted to pick your brain a little bit about that. Like I feel that there's some sort of connection here, especially in the last now almost 2 years with the pandemic, not being able to connect in the same ways, not being able to relish in life the same way. And I'm wondering if really like how is communication in itself, connection, the sanctity really of these little moments. You can't program for that in AI. All we have are these moments, Earl.
Oh yeah, we're getting deep.
So where do you think we go from here?
Some of them are not. Some of them. So when you say these sanctities, some of them will be preserved. Some of them are not. Some of them we will lose forever, and we're on the other end of them. We are dying. The world is going to hell in a handbasket. Sherry Turkle, amazing woman, she put out the book Reclaiming Conversation a couple of years ago, spoke about conversation, interpersonal communication, and how that is being lost, forgotten about in the digital age that we are in.
Yeah.
And as someone that is a conversationalist that does this, right?
Capital T.
Loves this with a capital T, does this and that with both capital T's. I let it go. I realized that again, a lot of this, me being able to relax and get inside my real groove, is acknowledging who I am, what it is I'm going to be able to do, and then realizing that that is not everyone else's story.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this communication, I bring you on the podcast because I know what it's going to be. Keon is really his podcast. He started the podcast and it kind of became mine. I'm not even really going to do this.
Keon's out of a job after this.
Right. I mean, he's got his own jobs. He's got his own stuff he's dealing with right now. But
Right.
I bring him on there. I brought my friend Mikey, my man Mo, my father, Jessica.
Yeah.
And the people I'm bringing on, I know that we're going to be able to shut some phones off, if not just have them kind of close by, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
There are studies that show that if you have a phone sitting on the table and it's face up, meaning if a notification goes off and I can see it, that the conversation's already going to be dampened. Not when the notification goes off.
Right.
No notification could go off, but the fact that the phone is sitting upright.
Just the peaking every now and then.
Exactly, because what happens is if your phone is out and I see that it's there and it's at arm's reach, it signals to me that you care about that phone and what could come through.
Right.
And that you have it at a moment's notice to be able to grab no matter what this conversation has in store for us.
Right.
Which signals to me she doesn't give as much of a fuck about what I'm about to say as I wish she would. So I shouldn't even talk. I shouldn't even get into the nitty gritty of things. So that keeps the conversation quite superficial. There are studies that show that if a phone is out during conversation, it is much more, I don't know the percentage, but it is much more susceptible that conversation is going to be more superficial.
Right.
Because no one wants to start giving themselves, giving their heart, their soul, their experiences.
More than that.
And then a notification come up on your phone and you pick it up and just start scrolling.
See all my ex-boyfriends.
It crushes people.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of this is behind us. I think a lot of interpersonal communication in the sanctity of it is behind us. I think that you will find people that still revere interpersonal communication the way that you do, but it's going to be few and far between. And that's just going to be what that is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's real shit. So that's really what it comes down to. When it comes down to the commodification of things, and if you're really asking me my idea about capitalism, sort of the way I feel about drugs, I've been high as fuck in my life.
Yeah.
We might get half this. But we've been high as fuck in my life, but to the point where the high wasn't fun. The point, it's been, I think I can count on one hand when that's happened. I've been high a lot. But there have been points in time where I've gotten high, and I'm like, why am I this high? When the person, so I was on the phone with my boy last night. He was like, you ever done dabs? And I was like, listen,
let's talk about that.
Not for me, but when I saw it happen the first time, I didn't partake. I was like, oh shit, like I saw a dude with a blowtorch and the shatter that is called.
This is very involved.
I was like, oh, this is very participatory. Like, you're having a lot of, this is very involved.
Uh-huh.
And then the next time I went out to a pop-up shop in D.C. when pop-up shops were like, it just came to D.C.
Right.
And it was just decriminalized. People were, oh my God.
Like, come buy a $50 t-shirt.
Ranting and raving about the stickers you could go buy. And then what happened to come with the stickers was amazing.
Who would have thought?
First time I saw Starburst in cereal, in tacos, and all these things THC infused. Mm-hmm. First time I saw this sort of stuff. And then I see, and one of my friends at the time, acquaintance really, said, hey, Earl, you want to try some Sprite? He called it. And I was like, Sprite? I liked Sprite growing up. I don't really drink soda these days, but what are you talking about? He was like, well, there's this dab. It's called Sprite. It's going to taste just like Sprite. First thing in my mind, which is why I got off of the little pens that everybody's running all around with, was why does this weed taste like Sprite?
Yeah.
That shouldn't
How
taste...
did this happen?
That's not natural.
This is a plant.
You didn't grow Sprite. Yes. Exactly. So anyway... So the dude's lighting the thing up for me, doing the whole thing that you do to light up a whole rig.
I know exactly.
And when you've ever, you look at a clean piece, a bowl, a bong, or what, a rig, whatever it is, you look at a clean piece that's completely clear.
Yeah.
And you can see the milky smoke filling the chamber. And the dude's not pulling it yet.
Yeah.
You're just like, I don't think any more smoke can go in there, buddy. No more smoke. And I'm just sitting there inhaling.
Yeah. Watching
and then he lets it go. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
I remember my first dab.
15 minutes later, my friends caught me out on the street talking to some homeless dude. I left the function. I'm just out on the street. I'm just talking to some homeless dude I'm sitting next to.
Yeah.
We got in the car.
All the social barriers come down after a certain high.
Right. Which is great. There's something great to that.
To an extent.
I didn't talk for the rest of the ride home. I was just looking. I'm in a different space. But there are times you can be high. The whole point I'm getting to is that there is an unhealthy involvement you can have with things in life, period. It doesn't matter what you give me.
Too much of anything.
Too much of anything can be toxic.
Yep.
That's kind of my thing with capitalism. We live in a fantastic place and we're blessed for a million different reasons that people take for granted, and they shit on the United States of America for a lot of things.
Yes.
And we have a lot of great things going for us.
Yes.
This capitalism thing, it's great. The free market and the way that we're able to commodify things are great.
Yeah.
But are you losing touch with some of the things underneath? Now, the answer to that, just widespread, is yes.
Yes.
But you can have these cards, because it all came from this card game. I'm going somewhere with this.
Yeah.
Going back to this card game, you can commodify these sorts of things, but at the same time, be the sort of person that's going to have a healthy relationship with it. One, you have to know that the commodification is happening.
Yeah.
So one, you have to be able to realize and acknowledge that. And then secondly, then it's how do I interact with the commodification of this thing? Mm-hmm. Do I allow it to just be that? Or can I still allow what maybe the people that created this wanted it to be, as well as making some money for themselves?
Yeah.
Can I connect with people? Can I allow this game for this night to be something connective?
Yeah.
Can I allow
Can I just do the thing that I wanted it to be?
Right, but at the same time, I purchased this thing, so I put a dollar amount on this experience.
Yeah,
to a degree, and I think that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's okay. I think to a certain degree, you're going to have to pay for some of the things that are going to help us connect. A lot of the times, we're paying for the things that are going to help us disconnect from each other, but. That's why everything in life is complex, and it deserves these sort of long-form conversations to talk about. Because, yes, we do buy into and highly revere a bunch of things that are going to be the end of all of us.
Yeah.
But it is possible to purchase things that are going to help bring us closer together.
Yeah.
And to give time and effort and, again, money into things that will connect us. So, that's just, it's Chinese philosophy of yin and yang is just, it's a wild thing, man. The balance is difficult.
Yes.
But it can be achieved.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly do believe that it can be achieved. So those are my thoughts on the capitalism and commodifying relationships and connectivity amongst human beings, inherently social human beings. Something I think at the very beginning of this book is they say something about us not just being Homo sapiens, but us also being what I believe she said was Homo empatheticus, which just is a fancy word for hardwired to connect and relate to one another.
Right.
And that's just what it is. We are just inherently social beings, so we want to connect. And sometimes, we're going to go down the incorrect pathways to do such. Because we're fiending for it so much. Sometimes you'll take whatever's given to you.
I'll take the surface level.
And you'll pull that thread until there's nothing left.
Yeah.
But but as I said before, and I just truly do believe, people are coming with good intentions. Mm-hmm. They just don't know how to execute.
Yeah.
That's really where it comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Body that did.
Yeah, I like.
Woo! You wasn't. Woo! Wee!
How do I come back from that? Thank you.
You don't want to know how you can come back from it?
You can go smoke this J right now.
Yes. As well as Aaron.
Earl.
At the end of these, this is called the Any Last Words Pod.
Mm-hmm.
You have any idea what I'm about to ask you? What are your last words for the people, Aaron? This has been wildly enjoyable. This
Ditto.
has easily been the longest. I've never reached the 3-hour mark. This is episode 82.
Give it up, 82.
Give it up, 82. Thank you for all the people that came, that have been listening this whole time.
Shout out. Couldn't do it like me, though. Those are my last words.
Oh, those are your last words?
No.
I didn't think that they would be. Your last words for the people, Aaron DeRay. The enigmatic.
The enigmatic.
The soft-spoken but energetic.
The sensitive but tough.
The sensitive.
The contradictory.
But contradictory. Mysterious. The mythical.
We touched on it a couple of times, but one thing I just really want to hone in on. Whatever you do, go with compassion. Truly. If that's all you have, if that's all you can contribute, let it be compassion. That's all.
Bow. Nah, you done.
Bow.
Nah, you done. That's it. That's yeah, just leave him with that.
Yeah.
I will say it's had everything to do with the conversation, but little to do with the content within the conversation. People. This is me having conversation. You guys keep tuning in week after week. Cool. Keon, y'all know I've known since he was my boy. Since 6th grade, 7th grade latest.
We love that.
Everyone else, they've been scattered about, but they've come here. These are my first real conversations with certain people. Definitely the most thorough of conversations because they don't get all the other sensory stimuli to distract them. Usually when you hang out with people, there's a bunch of other shit going on.
Yeah.
You come to my house, guess what?
We're in it.
It's us.
Do you see any phones on this table?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just us. My shit on airplane mode.
Yeah. D&D right
You know
now.
what I'm
You already
saying?
know.
So, go out of your way to try to have some thorough conversation with someone, even someone that's maybe unexpected. Again, a lot of these that I bring on here, they are probably for people that know me unexpected because they're like, I know the people that you know. Who the fuck is Aaron DeRay? Like,
You're gonna learn.
There's a long
You're
list
gonna
of people that I know.
Yeah.
And within this group of people, they're like, yo, I can't believe you didn't have these 20 people on before her. That ain't me.
You like to keep them on their toes.
Hey, you feel me? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So go out of your way and have some conversation with some people that otherwise you feel like you wouldn't have had a conversation with, or it's weird, it's awkward, it's whatever. You can have these sorts of conversations. This has been a fantastic conversation. Yeah. Again, the most thorough, the most intimate, the most enlightening, elucidating conversation we've ever had.
Yeah. To date.
Asterisk. To date. Asterisk.
Yeah.
Caveat.
I'll never see you again after this.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Enjoy.
Any last
Thank
words?
you.
Bye.